There we go. I think something got messed up. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yes. Yes, I did, Randy. Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, Wednesday, Friday. I get 3 tries, right? So we are Friday. And I need to get a sip of my special blend unique coffee, the Randy Roy special of the house, the Christmas room special coffee. You can see I drank a little bit already. Now, the only thing I have left to do is actually get on the right cameras. Where are they? Oh, there. Oh, did I turn on the overhead? Yes. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so here we go. All right, so now we are on the ZR, and my head is out of the frame. As usual, we simply have a Peter Greg problem with that, but don't worry. I'll live. I'll survive. Okay? So there we go. Ah, you know what I did? I made some lyric sheets. So I haven't sung these songs in 100 years, honest to God. Okay? So I need to turn up the volume a little bit. And then I need to find, I just want to test it out because I think I figured out what I did wrong. All right? So what I'm going to do is I need to turn off the mouth mic, the mouth of the South, Peter Greg. Okay, so so that mic is off and this mic is on. So if I run both mics at the same time, I think they cancel each other out. Because when I played back the song that I did last week, no, it was not very good. Okay, so I just need to Maestro. Can we have a little music? And this week, I have a song sheet. It's not a song sheet. It's a lyric sheet. So this is for you guys. Okay. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Okay, so that's my little test. What do you... Are you chicken, Peter? Okay, so I need to turn on the other mic. Not like that. And turn off this mic. And now this mic doesn't need to go. And now we're on the show mic. So transferring over from mic to mic looks like it could be a little bit complicated. So I'm going to have to smooth that one out. That's why I wanted to do the little test. But I do have the lyric sheet now, so I have the words. And welcome, Friday night. Oh, we're at the beginning of the month, March 6th. So I have a mental condition where I'm still at the end of the last month, which is February. Get out of the line. Oh, look at what's here. The Olympus EM1 Mark II with the handy dandy new firmware. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because my hair is sticking out. That's why. Let's see if I can fix that. I'm going to have to learn that song. You're so vain, you're so vain. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is, guys. I am who I am. I guess since I got older, I'm sensitive a little bit more to the to the looks of the old dude. So anyway, we're looking at the Olympus EM1 Mark II with the Leica nocturnal, whatever it is, nighttime lens, f1.2, and that's because today the S5 Mark II arrived at its new owner. The camera and 3 lenses and a couple of extra batteries. So it's the new owner is got it probably right now playing with it in his hands. Okay, so this wire is bothering me. Oh, my phone's still in my pocket. Got to take the phone out, make sure it's on, and the Randy button is not on. Okay, so if something crazy goes on, I got a lot of people that got my back. Okay, so let's get started on the show. I got to send the A7 Mark V, which is this baby right here. Let me turn on the overhead camera real quick. God, I hope I plugged it in. It looks like I plugged it in. It looks like it. There you go. Okay. So this is the A7 Mark V. So there's a few people that are my friends, good buddies, that actually have this camera. And see in the corner here, you can see that it says A7 Mark V. So I can actually put it down. I don't have to hold it up. Okay. So I got the RMA. This is a loaner camera from B&H. However, the 40 millimeter 2.5G lens is new, and it is mine, so it stays. So the lens is not going back, but the camera is. But you know what? I need to send it back at the beginning of next week because they use FedEx, and I'm not going to FedEx on the weekend. It's just the way it is, Charlie. All right. So I'm going to probably try to delay this till next Wednesday and put this on the live rotation. Okay. So you know where I'm going to put it? I'm going to put it right here where the Lumix, the S5 Mark II was and is gone. You notice when we get to the round rotations, you'll see that the it's gone. The box is gone. The lenses are gone. So they got a 50 millimeter 1.8 Lumix lens. They got a 85 millimeter 1.8 Lumix lens, and they got a Sigma 10 to 18 2.8 lens, which makes the camera extremely livable, Charlie. Okay, so I put the Olympus over here, and it took its place. Now the 42.5 millimeter lens might be a little too strong. It doesn't look too bad, but I can't get any wider. So I can't give you a wider shot. But you know, for the wider shots, I can actually just go over to the ZR. So this is the ZR, and it's a new camera that's in here. And yep, this one happens to be mine this time. It's not a loaner camera. It is my camera. And actually, the lens that's on there, the Nikon 50 millimeter 1.4, is also my lens. So yay! You doing the dance. I got a camera and a lens. So that is what we've got going on in here. So I was going to show you another camera that's actually on loan to me from Randy. Okay, so he's going to let me use it for a while. But I want to get all the questions and show and tell times with the A7 Mark V done, because once the camera's here, guess what? I can't show you anything anymore. So what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is going to make this a little wider. It just feels a little too tight to me. I do have control over that. I have the 85 millimeter lens, and it's on the ceiling. It's pointing downward. Okay, so if I go live with this camera, which is the Sony A7 right here, A7 Mark V, let me show you how I'm going to set it up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. Okay. And so it comes on with its screen right there. If I could set it in the right spot, I don't have to exactly hold it so it won't get all shaky. So this is my coffee cup and the napkin over here. That's the white thing you see. This is my hand. This is a camera. Okay. And it's got a timer that wants to go off very quickly. All right. So to go into the menu, you push over here. And one of the biggest mistakes, the operation and safety of this. Oh, so this is not a FX100 in here. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is, can you see in the little nook and cranny here? It's set to camera. I want to move it over to video, which is right there. And to do that, you have a button here. So if I try to move it left and right now, it won't go. Okay. Let's go here so you can see that button. See that button where my finger is? That will rotate. However, in order to get it to rotate, you've got to push in to release it. And then it'll go back and forth. Okay, so watch. Now it'll go back and forth. If I don't push that button in, or if I don't remember to push that button in, I'm going to think this camera broke. It won't move. I better call the president and tell him it won't move. So I push it in and I'll move that to the movie mode. So now when I go into the menu, we have a movie icon all the way over here. That's the movie icon. So first thing I'm going to check, file format. Okay, I'm going to click in there. And I like to do H.265. So that first one, where's my pen? My finger is kind of like a little too fat. Okay, don't make jokes. All right, so that is the, now I can get it closer so that you can see it a little bit better. Because I'm going to be working with the menu now. All right. All right, so H.265 HS4K is, start again, Peter. XAVCHS 4K is H.265, okay? Then the next one down, which is XAVCS, it's H.264. Now, since I have experienced H.265, I don't like H.264 anymore, all right? Now, that doesn't mean it's not good. It doesn't mean you have to change your world. It doesn't mean that this is the second coming of Jesus. It means I like H.265 better. It clobbers or compresses the file differently in a more non-destructive way, okay? And just a side note here, also, JPEG would be like H.264, okay? And HEIF, if you're on the iPhone system, when you record in HEIF for your pictures and for your video, HEIF is based on the H.265 format. So H.265 will give you 10 and 12 bits, all right? JPEG, when you're shooting stills, will only give you 8 bits, okay? And you want the 10 bits because it gives you more information, and you want 422. So I do the same thing over here in my movie stuff. See, file format for the movie. See the little camera up here? That means whatever I'm doing now is related to video that I'm going to be taking. So I'm going to push the enter button, which is this one in the center. And now it shows up here, H.264, which is the HS. Okay. Now I'm going to go into movie settings, and if I go in here, I have a choice of 60 frames per second, 24, and 120. Now that's because I'm in H.265, okay? So you don't really know what I'm saying yet, but let's go back over one, and I'll show you, okay? I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to move it down temporarily, just to show off, or show and tell. Going to go over here, and now it's in the S mode. Now when I go to movie settings and I go to the frame rate, I have more choices. I have 24p, 30p, 60p, and 120p. Okay, so this kind of proves that the H.265 is taking a little bit more processor, meaning it's doing a better job. That's what I hear the camera telling me. Loud and clear, it's talking to me. Okay, let's go back. Okay, and go over here, move it back to the HS, and then when we go to the movie setting and I go to the frame rate, if you are going to shoot and you like to shoot 30p, you would set it into 60p. And then when you bring it in to your software, just put your timeline at 30p and it'll extract the 30p out of the 60p, because the 60p is 30p times 2. Okay, makes sense? Now I like to use the 24p. It takes less room on my card. It takes less bandwidth when I broadcast, like I'm broadcasting right now. Okay, and it gives me that feeling like I'm doing more of a movie look at 24p. All right, some of that is mental, some of it is real. I mean, you could actually prove that you get a little smoother picture at 24p, but the whole world operates on 30p, so it's no big, it's nothing to break a sweat over, you know. Don't be afraid of your camera. Make the camera afraid of you. Oh my God, it doesn't have 30p. What did I do go wrong? No, you're afraid of your camera, dude. Stop. Make the camera afraid of you. Bark at it. Ruff, ruff. Okay. So I'm setting it up for 24p. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here. And here's where I have all my bit rates. Okay. Now I have not set this camera up before. If I did, it wouldn't be set where it is. Okay. So this is 50 megabits per second. But all the way up here, I have 100 megabits per second. And what that is double the data. And I also have the ability to go from 420 to 422. And these are all 10-bit. This is where Nikon falls down. The Nikon Z6 Mark III and the ZR, they only give you 8-bit. They don't give you 10-bit. And they only give you 420. They don't give you 422. Now, let me qualify that and say this is in reference to H.265, okay? It's not in reference to ProRes or Nikon RAW. And those you do, you get actually 12-bit and even higher, okay? But nobody walks around shooting their grandchildren or the girls dancing on the street at ProRes RAW. I mean, you're going to come back with 32 card files, not card files, SD cards, or you need to get a CF Express. So I'm going to set this camera to 422 10-bit, and it was set here. See, it gives you the orange dot there. It's filled in, so you know where you're coming from. So if you get flustered and you get confused, you go, where was I? How did I start? Well, here's where you started, Joe, right there. It's still there. Now, if I press this OK, it's going to warn me this is a heavy-duty file. Do you know what the hell you're doing, Peter? Yes, I do. I'm going to click OK. Okay? Now, if I come back in here, the orange dot is up here. So if I move down here, all right, and I go, oh my God, where was I? Well, open your eyes. It's the orange dot right there. That's where you was. Okay? I'm going to go back there. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to come back over here. Now, the next thing I want to come back over to is log shooting. I want to make sure it's off because the game changes completely if you turn on log shooting. Okay? So now, did you learn why that orange dot's up there? That's where I was. Hey, you're good at this. All right, so now we'll go there. All right. And after that, I want to go to, I'm going to take a quick look. All right, so here's your APS, your crop mode, and your full frame, because the A7 Mark V is a full frame camera. Okay. However, this is one of the strengths of the Sony camera. Okay. If I go to auto, all right, I can go to off, and that means it will never go into the crop mode. And you go, well, why, Peter? Why the heck would you do that? Okay, so here's something that my FX 2 does. Okay, and now it's on the A7 Mark V. So if I take one of my favorite lenses, which is this lens right here, you see how small it is? Well, it's a 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter, f2.8. Okay, except it's not an f2.8. It's an f4. I don't know what my mind was thinking. All right, so it's an f4. So, but it zooms between 10 millimeters and 20 millimeters. And if I put this on, almost all the cameras that you guys own, except my FX2, except this new A7 Mark IV, and there might be a few others that can do what I'm about to tell you. When you put this lens on, it's a crop sensor lens. You know, the 1.6 crop for like the FX30 or the A6700. The older cameras, the A6100, those are crop sensor cameras. Doesn't matter what lens you put on, a full frame lens, it has a crop sensor in the camera, okay? So this is a crop sensor lens, meaning when it captures you over here and it projects you out the back, the ass end of the lens, it's going to project a 1.6 crop picture on even your full frame. So the camera will automatically, if you got a Canon, if you got a Nikon, it's going to automatically switch the camera to match your crop sensor lens, okay? On these two cameras, and again, I don't want to make it sound like I know every spec in the book, because I don't, all right? There's so many. I can turn that off on this camera and force it to stay in full frame even if I put a crop sensor lens on there. And Peter, you'd say, why do you want to do that? Okay, I'll tell you why. Keep your pantyhose on, dude. All right, so the reason that you want to be able to do that is, number one, when you take the clip and you go into your software on your Mac or your Windows, whatever it is you're doing your work in, all right, you get to crop how far down you go. Okay, that's not the important part, though. That's kind of like the syrup on the top of the ice cream. The important part is if I go into dynamic active, it automatically adds a crop, about 30% crop. All right. So if I'm already cropped because I put this on the camera, the crop sensor lens, if I put this on the camera, now the lens that I have on the camera now, the 40 millimeter, is a full frame. So it's not going to happen with that lens. This lens, which is one of my favorites, is in my field of operation because I like it. It's going to go, it gets sucked into this camera automatically. The camera knows I like this lens. However, when I put this lens on, if I have that one feature I'm spending a lot of time explaining to you, okay, it's going to automatically match the lens with the camera. Now, if I go and I add the stabilization, the best one that Sony has, or the best one that the Lumix has, which has really great stabilization, or the best one that Canon has, they always crop a little more. Okay, so the best one on the Sony crops an additional 30%. So if I'm already in a crop mode and I turn on the stabilization because I'm going to follow somebody around or walk around with it, I have not one, I have two crops going. Okay, you getting the picture? I have a double jeopardy. All right, so let's go back over here so I can explain to you now why I'm picking some of this stuff. Okay, so if I go into the menu back to where I was, all right, and I come in here and I turn off the automatic crop, no matter what lens I put onto this camera, it's going to stay full frame. That means when I add the dynamic range stabilization, it's actually going to crop it 1.3, so we're already almost up to the 1.6 crop. So you see how you're going to be up to a 1.9 crop without you even knowing it happened? So the fix for that is on this camera, the A7 Mark V. If you want to buy it, the link's in the description below, and you could buy it on B&H. Use my link. They'll give me a pat on the back, okay? But the link is down below. So by turning this off, it actually will allow me to choose the crops that happen. So with that 10 to 20 millimeter lens, I'm actually going to get a wider field of view than I will on any other camera except the FX2 and the A7 Mark V. And it might be also the A7R has that feature. Randy would know about that. Okay, oops. I'm going to have to fix the timing on this too. I can't be live and the camera keeps turning off. All right. So that is where I set that because it puts me in control. So I spent extra time on that because those of you guys that have ears to hear, that is something to pay attention to. You want to set that to off, okay? And the reason is you will always get what they would, in other cameras, they would call open gate, okay? So you would be an open gate, unofficially, when you have a crop sensor lens on there. Then you crop it the way you want. That's what open gate is all about. You crop it the way you want, okay? So let's go to the shooting mode. All right, so here is where I would set the camera memory. So up on the top here, I have PASM, okay. You guys know what that is, okay. I'm not going to teach you that right now. Although somebody did scold me the other day. You keep talking about dual card slots. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I have to remember there's some things that we all know that not everybody knows. So sometimes the obvious is not that obvious, all right. I was getting a sip of coffee. All right. So PASM is the modes. P is the program mode. A is aperture priority. S is shutter priority. M is manual mode. You're going to handle it all. All right. Now you also have 1, 2, and 3, and these are memories. So once I get this, if I was going to keep this camera, once I get this camera all set up, my habit is to put it into the memory where I lost it now. Okay. Shooting mode. All right. So this is where you would control your PASM and so on and so forth. Okay. But you also can set the camera memory. So I would go in there, and then you've got memory 1, 2, and 3. Which corresponds with the 1, 2, and 3 on the top. But the A7 V is giving you a little bit of a bonus. It's giving you a 1, 2, and a 3, and then it's giving you an M1, M2, M3, and 4. So you don't have 3 memory settings here, 1, 2, and 3. What do you got, Joe? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now how you would make use of that, let's say for me, all right, so I always put what I get set up for the Christmas room under 3. So every camera I pick up in this room, I will go to setting 3, U3, M3, C3, whatever it is, and that is where the Christmas room settings are, okay? Now, you could use M1, 2, 3, 4 for all kinds of crazy scenarios. You think them up, okay? M1 might be the kitchen, M2 might be when you go outdoors, you want your camera set up differently, and you want to do it all automatically and not have to go, oh, outside I want automatic ISO. I want it to be in a shutter priority, okay? And then maybe at a wedding, I want M2 for I switch everything in the camera so it's aperture priority automatically. I don't have to think about it. They're presets, okay? So I would set the memory there by clicking on it, and it just registered the 3 here on the top to wherever we are right now. Now, that's not the right way to do it. You finish setting everything up first, then you come over here. So you'll have to remember you're in camera 4, okay, and you set the memory, okay? So that's how you set the memory. And you recall the memory by, with this particular camera, here you've got it on the dial, okay? So if I go to my favorite camera, okay, which is the FX2, ain't no dial on the top. Ain't no dial when she's gone. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, it's a stretch. All right, so what I want to do is not let this thing go to sleep. All right, is just, even if you have to write this crap down, 3 is for the Christmas room, okay, M1 is for the kitchen, M2 is for outside, M3 might be, there's some birds flying. I need to get this damn camera at a high shutter speed. All right, M3 might be where it's at. You write all that crap down. You're not going to remember all of that, and if you do, my hat's off to you, okay? All right, so let's go back in here, and I'm going to just go through here real quick, because what we're doing is we're setting up the camera to go live with this camera on the next show. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to set up the colors. I want to set up the way the camera looks, the ISO and stuff. So that is not in the movie. It's in the next one down, okay? And it's over here where it says color tone. So I'm going to go over to the right, and I'm going to come down. I don't know why this guy is not... Okay, so, and then I'm going to come in. Okay, let's not go too fast. I'm going to go to color tone. Now I'm going to come over here, and I want to head for the creative look. And that is where your standard mode, okay, look at the left over here. Standard mode, portrait mode, okay, neutral mode, vivid mode, and then it's got a lot. I'm not going to read them all. We'll be here till next Wednesday, okay? And it will rotate back. And we're still going through them. I'm glad I didn't read them. All right. So I want to go to the standard mode. Now, once I'm in the standard mode, I'm going to come over here. And it looks like Peter has been here already. Okay. So the contrast is down to 5. Over here is your scale. You've got the center. Okay. You got +9 and -9. Okay. Now, if I go up and down, it changes. It changes the number. You could see it change here. It's at 0, okay? And you could see it change here. It's at -5, and this arrow went down. So I'm going to bring it down to about a -5, and this is a starting point. What that means is after I do all this stuff, I'm going to turn the camera on and plug it in and see how I look, okay? Because I don't know how this camera responds. So if I go over with this button right here to the next one, this is highlights, okay? So the highlights is the bright part, the shiny part on my skin, the any white that I have in here, that's the highlights. And I brought it down to a -3. And I'll tell you why in a minute, okay? The next one is the shadows. The shadows is the black part of my picture, all right? So let's go back to the picture real quick. All right, we'll come over to the Nikon. All right, my hair would be what? Would it be a highlight or would it be the blacks? My hair would be the whites. It's the highlights, okay? Over in this area, that dark part, where if I can get my hand in the right spot, see how that's black? Would that be a highlight or would that be the shadows? Okay, that is the shadows. All right. So where does the skin fit in? The skin fits in the midtones, but they didn't put a midtone there. How stupid is that? Okay, so let's come back over here, and I'm going to have to trick this camera, okay, because what I want to do now, okay, here's your arrow, and here's your number. Here's your number, here's your arrow, all right? So by bringing this shadows down -3 and bringing the highlights down -3, I have darkened the overall picture everywhere except where? I did not darken the midtones. There is no control for the midtones. So I darkened the highlights and the shadows. And if that ain't enough, I can go down to a -5. And I'll go over here down to a -5. Remember, these are starting points. So I won't know if I'm, on the spot or not until I actually test the camera, which we will do next Wednesday. Then after that, it gives you a fade, all right? I really, to be honest with you, I don't know what the fade does, all right? If I hit the function, it doesn't do what I want it to do. Sometimes it will explain what something does that I don't know, all right? So I don't know what the fade does. I know it's fading something out. I don't know if it's fading all the settings that I'm doing across here or if there's something else going on. So you know what I'll do? I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll ask it on the A7 Mark V, what does the fade menu function do? And if it's out there on the internet, it'll find it for me, okay? So we're not going to spend a lot of time to tell you that I don't know what that is, okay? Now we have saturation. Again, -9, +9. Where do I have it set? I brought the saturation down. I don't want a rosy red like I've been suntanned for 10 years out there. I want it a little bit undercolored because when YouTube gets a hold of my files, it's going to boom, boom in the saturation. So I'm going to trick YouTube and bring it down to a -5, okay? And if it ain't right and I look too bland and too white and too ghostly, I'll come right back in here and I'll move the -5 up to, I'll bring it up to flat and then I'll figure out what I need to do, all right? So for right now, just for grins and giggles, I'll put it at -3, okay? Now we have the sharpness. Sharpness actually is your enemy, not your friend when you are doing headshots. Your hair, if you look at my other cameras and I come back over here, and let's go over here. All right, so this guy here is set up very similar. You could see the frizzies of my hair sticking up, and I have the sharpness way down on this. If I had it up, damn, everything, every little pore would jump out. I don't want that. And you don't want that when you present a picture to somebody either. And you don't want that when you're taking pictures of yourself. This is a picture of me. I want me to look good, all right? So that's where we are on the menu on this one, all right? So let's see if I could get back to where I was. Here we go, loopy-loo. All right. All right, so the sharpness, I have it. Oh, doggone this. All right, creative look. We are at sharpness, -2, okay? So it gives me the -2 there, and it shows me this arrow here. Now, the unfortunate part is if I go up or down, it's on a Canon, and I believe on a Nikon, it'll leave a faint arrow where I started from. So just like that other part, where was I? You don't get the where was I out over here. So I'm going to bring the sharpness down to this is the center. Okay, see, it's on the center dot. All right, so it's on a scale here of 0 to 9. All right, so I'm going to bring it down. Let's see, if I go 0, I go down 1, 2, 3. It's going to be at 1 for the first initial test. All right, and that reduces the sharpness but gives it a little bit of sharpness. Okay, and then clarity. So clarity does have one setting underneath, okay, of that dot, and it's got the center dot, and then you can go all the way up to 9, all right? So what does clarity do? All right, we just went through over here. Highlights, shadows. What's missing? Midtones. That's where the skin sits. Now, if you go all the way to clarity, okay, clarity is going to make it sharper and less sharp only in the highlights. Okay, it's not going to sharpen the dark areas. It's not going to sharpen the highlight areas. It's going to sharpen the midtones, and you have a control over that. Okay, then when I have that the way I want, I'm going to push OK, and now I have my colors all set up. Now we're going to go down here. This camera is one of the ones that will actually give you a skin effect. A lot of people will poo-poo that. I don't. Okay, you have a choice of, I use the pen, Peter. You have a choice of low, high, and middle, medium, okay? I always start at low because I just want to kind of level my face out, all right? So what it's doing is kind of what clarity is doing, but it's adding a little bit of a Gaussian blur only in the skin tones, not my hair, unless my hair is the same color as my skin. If I was a blonde, it's going to make my hair softer, okay? So I'm going to OK that, tap the OK button, all right? And these are tools for you to use for when you're out and about and you need to see for focusing. It'll give you a zebra display and how powerful it is. That means it's going to give you little baby faint lines where it's sharp, and the lines will disappear where it's not, okay? So all of this was in the plus and minus, which for me says compensation, and it's in the color tone area, okay? So the next thing I need to do is I really need to stop this turning off bullshit. All right, so let's see where I can find the power. All right, so that's the date and the time, touch operation. Is there anything here? Let's see what the touch I do want the touch operation on. You saw me touching everything here, right? Okay, so there's a lot to learn in here. This is not a lesson on the camera, okay? But you do want the touch operation to be on so that you can do this, close. And then I can open it again, all right? So I am looking to find the power, all right? So now if I go into the power, all right, the monitor low brightness is set to 10 seconds. This one is back to where was I, okay? And it does not turn off, okay? If I'm going to do a broadcast, I don't want the camera changing stuff to attract my attention while I'm looking at another camera. So I'm not going to let it turn off the power on the monitor, okay? Monitor off, okay? I want it on, does not turn off, all right? Power save, and here's the culprit. This is why while I'm talking to you, I should have done this first. Every 1 minute, the camera's shutting off. Okay? I don't want that. All right, so let's see if I can find, okay, this is where it was. Got the little dot. This is where I want it. Okay? And now the power's going to stay on. It's warning you, power's going to stay on. Okay? I'm going to tap on OK. So the power saving mode is off. Okay? And then the last thing is the camera will automatically come to the temperature control at standard, okay? And it's, I don't know, everybody turns it to high, I do too. All that means is before the camera turns off because it got too hot, this will turn off at a hotter temperature, this will turn off at a lower temperature. So you do want it set to high. Go and set that up, all right? So we have set up the colors. Okay, one more thing now. This is what you would do, all right? Not me, but this is what you would do. I'd go all the way back to my first column, and I need to go back up to where the movie camera is, and I need to go and find, since I don't know the menu that well, I'm going to go and find, okay, the camera set memory. So I'm going to commit everything I just did with you, and I'm going to commit it to the number 3. And then when I hit the enter button or the OK, it will say that it registered all the settings that we just did. And then one more thing, and then we'll come back out to the regular cameras. The next time I come here, I'm not going to go to the P mode. I'm going to go to number 3, and all those settings that I just did is for number 3. And here's the got you in the foot, okay? And the camera needs to be in the movie mode. So many times I will be out taking pictures. I will have switched it to the camera picture mode, and then I'll come here and I'll set it to number 3. And you know the next words out of my mouth? Camera is broke. It ain't working right. Well, that's because you have to change this to the movie mode. All those settings that we just did is, in number 3, okay, is corresponding to the movie mode. And that makes it very, very important. So that is how I have the A7 Mark V set up, so that when I take this camera and I replace the position of this camera for the next show, we will also, have everything set up. And one more thing. Okay, let's turn the camera off. I'm not going to use a 40 millimeter. Okay, and I want to blur out the background like I'm doing now. So I'm going to take this lens off, and I'm going to actually for the show here, I'm going to put the best lens I got in the whole cotton picking place. This is a Carl Zeiss Sony sold Carl Zeiss 50 millimeter f1.4 lens. And wait a minute, before you do that, Peter, we're going to take the blower. We're going to blow off the glass in the back. Then I'm going to take the cap off the front. Nope, I'm going to mount it first, because I want as least amount of dust as possible. I'm going to take a quick glance at the sensor. I'm going to turn the camera face down, face down, face down. Did I stumble when I talked? I'm going to turn the camera face down. I'm going to stick this up its ass, okay? But I'm not really going to go in very far. I don't want this to touch where am I? I don't want this to touch the sensor. So I'm going to get it pretty close, but I'm not going to enter, okay? No penetration here, guys, all right? You're going to get it really close and blow out your sensor. I'm trying to be silly so that you remember some of this stuff. I'm not being nasty because I'm a nasty person. And then I'm going to take a quick glance. Okay, it looks clean. And then I'm going to mount this. White with the white. I'm going to make it click. Now, in my sweet time, I'll take the front cap off, blow it out, close this up. Then I'm going to put the USB charger plug into the USB slot, which is right here. You don't need to see this, do you? I mean, I could turn the overhead on if you need to see it. But the USB plug is right here. Okay, I'm going to plug in the USB plug. There'll be a little yellow light that's going to come on. It's going to show you that it's charging, and when it's fully charged, that light will go off. If the yellow light is on, it's charging. If the yellow light is off, it's charged. Okay, then I'm going to open the other. All right, I will show you. All right, just because. Why do a job half-assed if you can do it all the way? All right, so in here, there's my USB. Right there, the USB. See, my fingers always get in the way. All right, so there is your USB. All right, and then over here, that is where I will plug in the HD. No, that's not. Ah, you tricked me. It's in one of these holes. There it is. All right, so that's a full-size HDMI. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, can you tell I got excited? So I'm going to plug those two things in, okay, and mount it where the Olympus is, which we are now on the Nikon. So the Nikon will be here, the Olympus is going to be over there, and the A7C Mark II is going to be there. So that's going to be all the forward-facing cameras, and this will be in the rotation, and it will be with the 1.4 Carl Zeiss 50 millimeter lens. Okay, I did put the cap back on. So that is the overview where we both went through. I know it might have been a little bit boring, but I'm sure there's a couple of things that you probably learned in that, okay? And there's still stuff I can learn. What the hell does the fade do? Okay, so now I'm going to take the lens cover. I'm going to move it over to this lens. Why leave the glass open and exposed, okay? And this camera is ready for the next show, where it's going to replace the, where are you, big boy? Here it is. My 8 or 9, how old is this camera? The Olympus EM1 Mark II, okay, with a Nocturne f1.2 lens. This is a micro four thirds. I was talking about full frame, and I was talking about crop sensor. Well, this is cropped even more. This is not a 1.0 or a 1.6 or a 1.5 crop. This is a 2.0 crop. It's cut in half. So 100 millimeters over here, it will give you a field of view or a focal view of double. So this is a 42.5. So why would they make a 42.5? Why would they go through the trouble of making a 42.5 lens? If you take 42.5 and you double it, what do you got? You've got an 85 millimeter field of view on a 2.0 micro four thirds camera. That is really important. So now with a micro four thirds, where it's a little bit hard to blur out your background, okay, guess what? I have a blurred out background, okay? Now, the one thing that you have to remember, all right, we start talking shit, basically. So if I say, I have the 42.5 lens on this Olympus, but it's really like an 85 millimeter. No, it isn't, okay? If I take, let's find something real quick, Peter. Okay, if I take this, and this is a picture, okay? This is a full frame picture right here. This is pretend, okay? Pretend. This is a full frame picture. Well, I don't want to ruin my pictures. If I cut out half of this, okay, I go like this. I go like this. I go like this. I go like this. Okay, remember that old joke when you were a kid? What's the name of the bus driver? After they go through all that stuff, if you haven't heard that joke, I'll tell it to you in a minute. Okay? Now, this paper is much smaller, but this paper is representing that we have a smaller sensor. But the lens that's in the front, did it change? No, it did not. You got to keep that in mind if you start saying, I have a 50 millimeter lens on there, but it's really like 100 millimeter. It's not. It's actually, it cut off all that stuff and it's all on the ground. But your depth of field did not change. Your focal, your view, okay, your focal view did not change. The lens didn't move. It didn't get remade. It didn't get sent back to the factory. It didn't come out all new settings. It's the same lens, okay? And the reason that that's important is because of a word called compression. Okay, so let's go back over to the Olympus. So this lens is a 42.1 f1.2 lens over here. Okay, this camera has the smaller focal length. The lens is still a 42.5. It didn't change. It's the same lens. Okay. Look at the depth of field. It's still an f1.2 depth of field. So the only thing that happened is if I had the zoom, I'd be able to make this bigger for you, okay, for full frame. But nothing changes on the lens. So the key takeaway is a 50 millimeter lens is always a 50 millimeter lens. It does not change. So when you hear YouTubers and they start yapping, it changes. The 50 millimeter lens becomes a 100 millimeter lens. That's not what happens. Okay? What happens is you crop that off, you crop that off, you crop that off, and you crop that off. But it's all still there. But the sensor has cropped all that goody stuff away. Okay, now here's a trick question now, okay? Does the amount of light that hits the sensor change when you go into all these crop sensor modes? The answer is yes and no. The amount of light that comes here is going to be the same, except for one thing. If you have the lens that matches this, okay, it will actually take all of this light and compress it into the little square. That's where the yes comes in. You're getting more light because it took all this light that fell to the floor when we cropped this and it shoved it into the one smaller area. Looking at the wrong camera, okay? So that's where the yes is, all right? Did the lens actually change? No. Nobody goes into the lens and changes. There's no little men in your lens that changes stuff, okay? Now, you do get things where they come up. What's their name? I got them sitting right there. Metabones, okay? Metabones will make an adapter where it will actually take and gather all this light that's about to fall to the floor, and it goes, no, you don't, squishes it all together and stuffs it in there. So you actually get more light. So your f-stop will wind up changing. All right? So that is with a Metabones adapter. Most of you guys that are on here are not in the Micro Four Thirds world, so you're not going to be playing with these kinds of adapters. But I want you to have the knowledge, because when you do the same crap on this camera, and I have a full frame 50 millimeter, look up here, okay? I have a full frame 50 millimeter 1.4 lens on here. I have it set to 1.4. It's getting all that light onto the sensor. If I take that lens off, if I was actually able to, which I can't directly, if I was able to put this crop sensor lens, okay, well, I can on here. All right, so this is a full frame 85 millimeter 1-point lens on what you're looking at me through now. If I take that lens off and I put this one on, it's not going to compress the light. All the light that's outside is going to fall down to the ground. You would need an adapter that's designed to collect all the light and focus it in. You know how you light paper on fire with the magnifying glass with the sun? You need that type of an action to happen. All right, guys. I think we have done a lot of lessoning here, and now we can get into what you've been doing, So today is Friday. So Wednesday, about 15 minutes before the show, I got a text. $1 has been deposited in your account, Peter. Okay? So he's my friend now, that bought the S5 Mark II Lumix camera. Okay? I told him, let's make a test before you send me all the money. That's thousands of dollars that's going to come. You don't want to send it to Roy. Although Roy might say thank you very much. You don't want to send it to Randy. Randy might say thank you very much. Oh, I got to start seeing who's in here. I see Roy. I see Randy. Okay. Good choice. All right. So I got the $1, and I would say a minute before I went live. Okay. I texted him right back. I said, Eddie, the $1 came through. So while we were doing the show, he sent me the full amount and bought the camera. And the 3 lenses and the 3 batteries. and the dummy battery that I use, like I've got on here. I don't use the battery during the show. If it dies, the camera's out. Okay. So after I actually finished the show last week, I stayed up till late in the morning, 1 o'clock. I packaged everything up, nice, secure, snug. I set it up and I shipped it out by UPS, and it went out UPS, and they went yesterday morning. Actually, it was more like 12:30. It got into UPS, and I was worried because it didn't register right away. It didn't register till about 8 o'clock at night. I'm going like, oh crap, where is the camera and 3 lenses? So it did get registered, and today Eddie got the camera, the 3 lenses, and he said, oh my God, Peter, this is like brand spanking new. All right, so I'm going to take a quick look through here. A lot of you guys are saying hello. Roy is doing his thing, which is basically repeating what I say. I'll say hi to each and every one of you. Don't you worry your pretty little fingers. I just want to see if there's any questions, because I won't remember what I was talking about. Now I pretty much can remember. I don't see any Q's or QQQs or questions, but I am reading them real quick. Roy has a question. Does Sony creative stuff affect RAW files? Yes and no. It affects what you see on the LCD and the viewfinder, but when you go into Photomator, Lightroom, you're on your own, baby. It's exactly what it says. It's RAW. Okay. Let's go. Any other questions? Roy says that the A7 Mark V also have a save to card option. I think I saw it in there. Roy. So a fun fact, those of you that know the Nikon cameras, you only have the save to card function. You don't have a ZFC is the name of the camera I'm talking about. Most of you don't know what that camera what it is, but it doesn't have the 1, 2, and 3 memory. It's got no memory, but you could save your settings to a card, and that's what Roy's asking about. So, coming down, Roy is repeating what I said, and Ghost. Questions encouraged and allowed. Of course, buddy. This is family time. Absolutely. You got a question? Do it right now that I'm at the end. Because by the time I get to the bottom, Ghost, I'm going to forget what the hell I was just talking about. Okay. Oh, he's asking, would you buy an older mirrorless camera? Well, we'll get to that. And Randy's actually answering him. All right. So, all right, that concludes the little outline on the Mark V. Camera's still right here. Can always refer to it. Don't get your panties in a wad. What movie is that from? I keep saying that because I just saw the movie a couple of weeks ago. It's an old movie, actually. It's a very old movie. The Abyss. All right, guys. I got 8 thumbs up. So some of you actually liked what I was teaching. Okay. So there we go. So let's see. We'll start at the top. Roy is here. Hi, Roy. Saturday too? No. So where am I going to be tomorrow night? We had all the stuff with the babies. I told you I shot the baby dedication and the reception. The reception with the 24-240. It stumbles in lower light, the 240 lens, which is a Sony lens, 24 millimeters to 240 millimeters. The lens is fantastic, better than fantastic. If you've got normal light, like you've gotten here, if I turn this camera on, First, I'll have to see. Do I have yeah, there is a battery. Okay, so it's coming on. So over here, I have a fan, locks right on. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Over here, there's a tree, locks right on. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Up there, where you are with all the cameras, hunting, hunting, hunting. Okay, it found a box that's in the bright light. Okay? And it found my 55-inch monitor. So, because it's a 3.5 to 6.3 aperture, it has less light coming down the throat of the lens and coming to wherever it's reading the focus algorithm. So if you don't give the focus algorithm enough light, it'll have a little bit of a problem. So if you're going to take pictures of your honeymoon night and this candle lit over, don't use that lens. You're not going to get the things you want in focus. You'll be disappointed, okay? But if you want to get those things in focus, all right, get a 1.8 lens so you can get enough light in, and then the algorithms that are designed in these cameras will activate. And when they activate, it will actually focus almost instantly. I think Sony's got the best. Now that I'm not looking over there, to me it looks like I'm not hitting loud enough on this. All right, so now the mic is a little bit louder. Okay, testing 1 2. Yeah, I like it so it hits the yellow, but because I was paying attention to the screen with the A7 IV, it was covering over where the level meters are. Now I'm looking at the level meters, and it looks like it needed to go up a little bit. So I hope that helps. I just raised it up anyway. All right. So Saturday. No, I was telling you Saturday. I'm going somewhere. I don't remember where, but at this point, I don't really care. Let's lower that volume. It's bothering me. Okay, so I'll keep that open for a second. Roy says, new bald head. Newer GM39 is a nice choice. Okay, I'll keep that. In order for me to look that up, Roy, I got to write it down, because they don't give you these questions and answers back. So it's a newer GM39. Newer is the name of the brand for you guys that are not aware. Newer GM39 ball head. So Roy is remembering, I need a ball head that I can micro tune, because as soon as I loosen one of these ball heads, the whole thing moves. And I got to start all over. And every time I go to move it, I have to run back and sit in the chair, okay, look and see where's my head, blah, 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 then run back over to the camera, then run back to the chair. It's good exercise, yes, but it's not an exercise I'm looking forward to. So I'll look that up. Scotty is here. Oh, Scotty, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you like the 10 o'clock hour here? I was thinking of moving into 9 o'clock, but I thought specifically of you, because if you are out on a Friday, then the 9 o'clock is not better. So Jamie's here. Hi, Jamie. Love you. Thanks for coming in. It's always wonderful to see you, big boy. I appreciate you. And he's saying good evening. Show mic is louder. Oh, I just made it louder. But that would have been a half hour ago. All right. I'll play this back and I'll check it out. Okay. Jamie is going, where is the pup that's in the thumbnail? He passed away. I keep him there because I miss him terribly. It's kind of one of my sore spots. You see me practice my singing and stuff. Well, I was singing Christmas songs, so I sang a Christmas song, and he kept getting up, and I kept putting him back in his basket, okay? And he's usually at the end of every one of my shows. So finally I finished singing the song, and it's a song I no longer listen to because it just associates with what happened. So finally I said, okay, Jingles, let's go pee-pee. And he, boom, he ran out the back door. The dog next door got loose and killed him right in front of my eyes. Okay? Just tore him to bits. I'm beating that dog's head, and it's a pit bull. I'm beating that dog's head with a branch, smacking it. My neighbor came out. Stop, the dog is going to kill you. I said a lot of words you don't want to hear, okay? And finally he dropped Jingles, and I ran. My shoes fell off. I'm running down the street. The blood's running down my shirt, and it's a white shirt. I threw it away. Okay, the memories are just too strong. And I'm running down the street because about 5 blocks down is a vet. Somebody pulled over. Get in, get in! Okay, so they saw me. I jumped in. We went to the vet. It was too late. He killed Jingles. So it happened right in front of me on my watch, and it took a year and a half to get over it. Not because one of my dogs has not died before. I thought I let Jingles down. I'm supposed to be there to protect him. And I wasn't able to keep him from getting killed. Right there. Right there. I really beat myself up. Thank God. It just took one day, but it was a year and a half later. Okay. And now I can't even listen to that song. Is it Mary, Did You Know? The Christmas song. Very wonderful Christmas song. Okay. I can't listen to that song. So we were in here. I finished the singing. I put the mic down. Jingles was sitting right there in his basket. I said, okay, let's go pee-pee. Boom, like a lightning, he was right back at the sliding glass door. I wouldn't even be able to talk about this back then. Okay, so this happened, I believe, 2018 or 2019. One of those. But you can go back through the channel and I'll tell you the same story in a video. But I didn't do it until about a month later. I just couldn't handle it. So that's about the story of the dog. And his name is Jingles. And my mother brought him home. We went to buy a dog. My dad said, no more dogs in this house. No. And my mother, okay, honey, no problem. So we went out. She said, oh, can you go to this address? We went to the address, and I was in the car. I don't remember. I might have been driving. Okay, and we pulled in, and the lady had three Jingle Bells. They're Maltese, as the name. So the lady had maybe a 6 or 7 year old girl, super red hair. Okay, you call her Carrot Top, and she came out, and the mother and the daughter were making sure that the 3 little puppies that were bouncing in the front yard everywhere, that they didn't run out in the street. And I was like standing guard over here. And then the little girl was playing with one of them, and so I picked out the one that I liked, and it was Jingle Bells. If I said that to my mother, this is nothing negative about my mother. I mean, you have a mother too, or had, okay? Same story, okay? If I told my mother that that's the dog that I wanted, that's the last dog my mother would pick. So, lo and behold, my mother picked the wrong dog. I mean, the dog was lethargic. So Jingles is the third. You could tell by the sizes. Jingles was the smallest one of the 3. There was one that was maybe a pound or 2 heavier than Jingles. That would be the first one that was born. Then there was a middle one, okay? And he was so lethargic. He looked the prettiest, okay? And I'm going like, no, not that one. And the little girl kept playing with Jingle Bells, and Jingles kept bouncing on her. She was laughing. She fell on the ground. Jingles came over, licked her face, and said, that's the dog we want, okay? One that's full of life. So My mother goes, I don't know which one to pick. I picked number 2 and this and that. And now how do I get my mother to not come home with that number 2 dog? So I said to her, why don't you ask Carrot Top, because my mother loves children, okay, which one she would pick. So I don't know why my mother did it. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. She asked the little girl, which one would you pick, sweetie? And she, Jingles, is right in her lap playing and bouncing on her stomach. So my mother picked Jingles, okay? But technically I picked him. I want the credit. So dogs are really special. So we came home with Jingles, and Jingles got very attached to my mother right away. I was jealous, okay? But anytime I walked back and forth, okay, or came around the corner, because my mother would sit on the couch, but the couch was around the corner, the dog would watch me. Jingles would watch me. And my mother would pull him in. Don't watch him. Pay attention to me. So what started my relationship with Jingles is I noticed that he was watching me. So I popped my head out around the corner of the door, and I barked real loud. Ruff, ruff. And Jingles jumped up and hit my mother's chin because I scared the living shit out of the dog, okay? And then my mother, for the next hour, how could you do that to him? What's wrong with you? You're insane. You're crazy. President Trump says you're crazy. Maybe 10 years later, or 20 years later, or whenever. So she got furious at me. And ever since then, Jingles would walk that way if I walked this way. He was scared of me, okay? So the original Christmas room was carpeted at that time. And my mother was playing with the dog on the carpet. So I knew the dog was afraid of me, and I knew that he had toys. Okay? So I grabbed one of the toys, and I laid down flat on the ground, face down. Okay? And I grabbed one of his toys, and I put it under, like you would tuck in a football. So I pulled in the toy underneath here, and Jingles froze. He was staring at me, and my mother said, give him his toy. I said, no. But I was talking baby talk. Okay? And then she said, Jingles, go get it. Go get it. So the dog was like walking around me like he thought I would kill him. Well, something clicked where suddenly I wasn't a danger to him anymore. And he jumped on my back, walked up my back to my head, and started pawing my head like, I want that toy. And from that moment on, basically Jingles is my dog. And my mother was oh my God, the jealousy was, you could cut it with a knife. But now when I walked in the room, magnet straight to me. When my mother would put him in the box, he would cry, okay, to sleep at night. She didn't want him loose in the house. I would pick him up. I would take him to my bed. She'd come in there. She'd grab the dog and put him in. No, the dog sleeps in the box. I said, but Ma, he wants to sleep with me. So after my mother passed away in 2011, okay, so we got Jingles in 2008. From that night forward, he slept in my bed. And if my mother doesn't like it, she could have come and made her comments. But she left to go to heaven. It's her loss. Okay? Should have stuck around. So anyway, that's how Jingles became my dog. And Dad was still around. And I knew to give Jingles to Dad because Dad had a heart attack the day after my mother died. And we went through trouble, and then after I finished caring for my mother for like 6 years because she had a stroke, the day after my mother died, Dad had a heart attack, and I took care of him from 2011 on a daily, everything that you need to do to a person, feed him, and everything else that goes with it. I took care of Dad. So Dad really liked to hold Jingles, okay? So as often as I could, even though Jingles was following me around, I'd pick him up, put him in Dad's lap, okay? And then one day Dad was laying in bed, and I walked in the room, and Dad had him, like, hugging him, and the dog was skirmishing to get loose. And he goes, all right, go to your Peter. And then Dad made the proclamation. He says, that dog is all yours. You know, he is your dog. So that's the story of Jingles. That's why when he died, it crushed me. There's a lot of connection with my parents, a lot of connection with the dog, with me. It became like my child. And you know those people where they forget their dog, their child in the car, and it dies? I don't know how they get over it. I really don't, okay? But that's the way I felt, and that's why my screensaver is Jingles. Jingles' toys are everywhere around here. He's in heaven. He's welcome to come back. Hello? Okay? But that's how I know dogs are in heaven, because it bothered me so much. I went to Bible college, so I got a lot of training on, Bibles and scriptures and stuff. I did a complete study, or as complete as I could do it. And yes, your dogs go to heaven. No, there is no rainbow bridge. Your dogs go to heaven, and the reason they go to heaven is they're attached to you, okay? And Jesus himself said, you and your household will be saved. Well, your household isn't your dishwasher. It's not your refrigerator, okay? It's not your kitchen cabinets. And you know that adults have to receive Jesus on their own free choice. You could become a different religion, you know? So what is your household? So when Jesus, they tried to trick him, and they said, they tried to get him to do something on the Sabbath, and Jesus replied to them is, if your son and your animal, if your son or your animal fell into the pit on a Sabbath, what kind of a man would not jump in to save his son? What kind of a man would not jump in to save his animal? The animal is part of your household. Because remember, Jesus always preached, love your neighbor. If your neighbor needs a coat, and you got to give him. Always neighbor. Neighbor this, neighbor that. Okay? So when he did, if your son and your neighbor or your neighbor fell in the pit on a Sabbath, who wouldn't in their right mind go save them from being at the bottom of the pit? But he didn't. He said, if your son or your animal fell in the pit, who would you save? Okay? That is one of the upper scriptures. And there's maybe 15 or more lower ones. Noah, with every, 2 by 2, they came into the, into the ark. So when I finally settled it, even though there's a lot of well-meaning Christians that are stupid as shit when it comes to how God sees animals, and they try. One guy told me, this is what sent me from recovering short period of time to a very long period of time. He said, well, the animal can't receive Jesus. He's not in heaven. When they finish here, they're dead. They're gone. Your animal does not go to heaven. Just accept it that you were blessed with Jingles while he was alive, but now he's dead. He's gone. There's nothing, in a way where a dog has a way to get to heaven. And this is somebody that was very close and a strong Christian. So it got me scrambled. And that took something that should have taken just a little bit of time to a year and a half. Okay? But now, he's just not right. And if you're going through this, and if you have an animal that's passed away, and if you're a Christian, he comes in on your coattails. Okay? Not because he can confess Christ, but because the son and the animal is a part of you. Okay? Now, your son or your daughter has to receive Jesus when they grow up. That's the system that God implied. Okay? But the animal is there from the very beginning in you. Okay? So that is how my healing started, is when I did that Bible study, because before that I really was pretty scrambled. All right, show mic is louder. I just did that. Where is the pup in the thumbnail? I just spent an hour on that. Oh, we're at 11:30. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. Hi, Peter. Hi, Jim. Love you, buddy. It's Happy Friday. Love you all. I just finished the lesson. I had you in mind a little bit, Jim, but not completely, because you're pretty smart when it comes to cameras. What I look like is the other people's problem. Roy says, I did play with an A7 IV. Sony's starting to feel like a camera company. Yeah, they feel very... this might not say it the way I want to, but the Sonys are starting to feel like a Canon. There's just something about a Canon, and there's just something about a Nikon that feels like a real camera when you were shooting with film cameras. And along comes Sony, and it feels much more like a computer. It doesn't give you that camera feeling, doesn't even give you the satisfaction, okay, for years. Now, I would say in the last maybe 2 years, the Sony cameras are actually feeling like a Canon. They're feeling like a camera, a full-fledged camera. And they're actually, in many areas, better than the Sony. And yes, Roy, better than the Nikon. Take that and smoke on it, okay? But the good thing is it's only my opinion, and I'm only one person out of 8 billion, so you don't feel threatened by me. Yeah, it's highly recommended. As a matter of fact, Jim actually has the A7 Mark V. James says, my allergies don't allow me to touch a Sony. Oh, James, you're bigger. Your mind is bigger than that, buddy. Seriously, you're playing team instead of actually looking at the cameras and deciding what you like. And I was, unfortunately, I was very much like that, so I can't really be that harsh with you. I understand how you feel. Jim says, I'm doing the dance. I got a camera. I got a lens dance all weekend now. Oh, my God. Jim is one of the ones that's got the A7 V. So Roy's talking to James. I'm going to pass over those because we're kind of running a little late here. Norm, my favorite Norm in the whole Canada. I was going to say the whole wide world, but I'm not sure. Merry Christmas, Peter. Good evening, Greggies around the world. How you doing, Norm? You hanging in there? Boy, Norm has been with me so long. I love you, Norm. Thanks for coming in and saying, hello, Peter. I love you, Peter. I love you too, Norm. Sony menus still need work. Yeah, the color tones that I just showed you, why aren't they in the movie section? They're pertaining to the movie. How come you got to go over where it's not doesn't belong? So, yeah. James is talking to Roy. Roy said that's a lot. I don't know what he's referring to. James is the Canon C200 still has one of the best 8-bit footage. Oh, you got hands-on with that one? That's good to know, James. Oh, I know what James has played with, and not that, something else. Okay. Roy says, I hate the way Nikon auto-swap crop when you plug in a crop lens, but they all do that. James says, I only use full-frame lenses. James, get out of your box, okay? You know I'm not dangerous, so I can be aggressive with you. I'm not a mean person. I love you. I thank you so much for being here. But get out of your box. We're not playing football. We're not playing soccer. We're not rooting for, Madrid. That's the soccer team I like. Or Miami Dolphins, okay? Where, what? You're the New York Jets? No, heck no. Okay? That's sports. We don't need to do that in cameras. You can like a Sony. You can like a crop sensor lens. You won't go to hell if that happens. God won't say, you get out of the room. Get out of the line. Okay? So allow yourself to like things in cameras because they're a joy to use. And if you are in love with one particular camera, more power to you, James. Absolutely, positively. If you win the lotto, I hope you buy 10 of them. Okay? But don't lock out the others unless you have something against them that's real. Like, I only have one camera I have something against, which is the OMD Systems, what is it, the OMD 1 Mark II. I can't understand how a $2,800 camera has a micro HDMI. What about their users? I would be a user if I bought one of those. But no, if I can't trust you to put a full-size HDMI at $2,800, $2,800, so they're lower now because they've been out for a while, and you put in an HDMI plug that is just not satisfactory. I don't like that. That makes me angry. But that's the only camera I can think about that makes me actually angry. The other ones, basically, I just feel like there's other features I like, but God bless the people that own them. It's not a big deal. So that is my suggestion for you. Enjoy all the different cameras. Okay, here I've got a Sony, I've got a Nikon, I have an Olympus, I had the Panasonic, the Lumix. There's a Nikon first generation on the ceiling. Okay, there's a GH4 in the other studio, Panasonic. I'm not on anybody's team. I like each of the cameras that I bought, and you'll get an expanded enjoyment of the cameraology part of it if you accept some of the other ones. Okay, so by saying I only use full frame lenses, you want to know something, James? This 10 millimeter to 20 millimeter, is this the one? No, that's the 40. Where's the 10 to 20? Here it is. This 10 to 20 millimeter is a crop sensor lens. It flies. It's sucked onto my camera. That's how good it operates. That's why I went through a lot of explanation on how to use it and start turning that APS-C automatic crop off so you're in control. You know, the more you get into cars, sometimes you just want a 5-speed or 6-speed and you want to shift it yourself. Automatic isn't everything. You know, there's a joy in power shifting. Do you know how to power shift? Power shifting is awesome. If you don't know how to do it, don't do it. You'll blow out your engine, okay? But power shifting is absolutely amazing. I don't waste the sensor area by unnecessary cropping. I agree. Yes, I do. If I really have to waste resolution by cropping, I'll do it in post. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Here's Elite. I love the stream. Keep going. Thanks. All night long? What's the saying? I'm 72 years old. What I used to do all night long, now it takes me all night long to do it. So that's, my dad used to say that joke, and everybody would laugh, and I didn't know what the F he was talking about until I grew up. Memory banks needs labels. They sure do. You're right. I know what you're talking about. So you look into the side here, okay? Number one, where's the front? Where's the back? Okay? Number two, oh, this is the A7 Mark V. Slot 1, slot 2. Hey, Roy, guess what? We've got, oh, I was going to turn it on. You'll have to believe me, okay? We have a labeled slot. You go into this, my Sony FX2, and I open this up. Slot 1 and slot 2. Gosh, Roy, I didn't know they started doing that. That's a good thing. Now, the only thing they do is you never know which side's the front. And on one camera, it's one way, and another camera on the card. The card slot is where you slide the card in that records your pictures and your videos. I answered that question. I'm trying to be kind to everybody. Okay. So James is saying, holy menu options. Yes, big boy. They if they can think of it, they just throw it in. Doesn't cost us anything. We'll just throw it in. That's Sony. Overdone. Roy says, does the creative stuff affect the raw files? I answered that, yes and no. On your screen, yes. And without the screen, no. It appears we are Randy-less? Never. Randy is always around. Here, I'll prove it. He's the very next one. He's giving me peace. I'm here. Hey, let the man relax. Not a problem. The man wants to chill and relax. He knows he's always welcome. I mean, I will call him in the middle of the night and wake him up. And who is this? Who is this on my phone? So, here's Ducky. I love your name. Ducky. Ducky is happy. Oh, man, I would steal that in a heartbeat. This is insane production quality for 20 viewers. We get this is boys' night out. You notice? I know most of these people, Ducky, and come on Friday nights and Wednesday nights, and on the big channel where it's just Peter Gregg, not Peter Gregg TV. Okay, that's where I do the big productions, and I record them, and they go up there. We got 30,000 viewers, subscribers, and stuff like that. But this is where I could just let my hair down. I could slip out a cuss word here and there, which I try not to do. And we get all ages in here, from kids to people that are actually older than me, if that's possible. So, yes, we enjoy each other. If you notice, there's no fighting. Roy says Ducky's happy. Sanity is overrated. And James is talking to Roy, and Randy's talking to Ducky. That is, he's tooting my horn. Randy's tooting my horn. Peter's probably the first photographer that was doing 5K for live streaming. Now, the reason that's important, that what he's saying, is I was doing it. I started, and I want to. If I'm going to do 4K, okay, none of this 1080 for me. Other people is fine, okay? And I have no comment or even an opinion. If you wanted to do 1080, and, that's not a problem. But Randy's the guy that helped me, because my 2017 iMac would always overheat. And the problem we discovered was inside, the computer's built into the monitor. So Randy had me get like a little tray, like a flower pot, about that long. And we got these ice things that you freeze, and you freeze them over and over. And we just laid them across the front of the 2017 iMac, because the iMac would overheat when I would go into 4K. If I stayed at 1080, which everybody said, just do 1080, dude. What's wrong with you? You got a hair up your butt, And no, if it's 4K is available, I'm going to do it. So I had fresh ice packs, 4 of them, every show, every week. I would come in right before we went live. I would just drop them in and lay them right against all the metal. You know how the iMacs look like, right? They got the screen, and then there's a metal thing. And the back of it bellows out kind of like a little bit, because all the computer parts are inside. So it did not have enough cooling, and it was on the Intel chip at that time. There was no M1234, okay? Now we've got the M series. So Apple brought it all in-house. They stopped buying the Intel chip, okay? And they created the M1. Overheating gone. Suddenly I was able to buy the little $500 Mac Mini, and all of this 4K beauty was going out the door, up into the sky, wherever YouTube is, and broadcasting in 4K. And the 4K started and stayed. But if it wasn't for Randy's ice cubes, we would still be limping along. Okay, so Randy's talking to Roy. Roy's talking to Randy. Randy is talking to Lucky. Oh, Ducky. No, Lucky is the name of Randy's dog is Lucky. The name of my new friend here, is Ducky. Welcome, Ducky. I love you. Thank you for being here, okay? And Roy says, does the A75 also have a save to card? Yes, I believe it does. Randy's talking to Ducky, and Randy's talking to Roy, and Randy's talking to Roy, and Roy is talking, to me. Old photographer's trick is to run a finger over the mount when you change lenses. Oil in the skin is the perfect lubricant. You know, I never thought of that, but that's a great idea, okay? If you take a Q-tip right now, you guys, on one of your lenses that's, let's say, about a year old, and you run that Q-tip all the way around, okay, it'll be black. That's how much gunk builds up there. It never occurred to me to use the oil and just run it right around here. That's a great idea. So I'm cleaning it. You can see a little black on my... Thanks, Roy. I just dirtied my hand, Roy, all because of you. My hand is dirty, Roy, because my finger, I can't stick it in my mouth anymore. I can't stick it up my nose anymore. I can't stick it there either, whatever you're thinking, okay? But it definitely has a layer of the Peter Christmas Room body oil on it. That's a great idea. And it'll keep it clean, too. Then you got a dirty finger to deal with. So you get yourself one of these, you wipe it off, and you shut the F up. It doesn't wipe off. What are you doing, Peter? Can you believe I'm cleaning my fingertip? Well, where did you stick it? I'm not going to tell you where I stuck it. Okay, so Roy's saying Micro Four Thirds is a lot of crop. Randy and Roy and Roy and Randy, they're talking to... That's where the coffee comes from, by the way. It's a Randy Roy Super Blend coffee. Keeps me awake because I actually put caffeinated coffee, because normally when I make the coffee it's decaffeinated. But for here, I use 1 tablespoon of decaffeinated coffee and then 1/4 of a teaspoon of caffeinated. And the reason for that, if I put the full teaspoon in, tomorrow morning I'll still be awake, okay? So Randy's saying the A7R Mark VI, that one's not out yet, should be a fully stacked sensor and should be able to compete with the Canon R5 II and the Nikon high-ends, which is the Z8, Z9. And these will be better than the Panasonic S1R2. Well, you kind of positioned yourself to get into that camera, didn't you? I know what you did. So he had the Panasonic, and he sold it. So Roy, so that's the part where I was talking about the lighting and the speed boosters. Roy doesn't need the money. You know, Roy, I need to sing to Stella. I'm sorry, because that'll keep you on your toes. Stella by starlight, Stella by starlight, Stella by starlight, how are you tonight? Stella by starlight, I see you look so nice. Stella by starlight, Roy's shining light. Ha ha ha. I got you, Roy. Yes, sirree. So I didn't pick up this mic that time, you noticed? So I'm going to go back and see if that sounded okay. Then I don't need to do the jumping around with this mic for the live shows. Now, if I'm going to do the song, it's going to be all with this mic, okay? So anyway. Oops, it almost fell off. I'm bumping it up against the better bounce cards. Now, if Scotty was on the ball, he would be telling me, Peter, what is the better bounce card? Well, this is what it is. This goes on your flash unit. I invented it. I make it and I sell it. So they come in a package of 3 sizes, and then there's the same thing that's all black. And you go, well, Peter, why do you want to put an all black on your flash unit? I'm glad you asked. I was waiting all night for you to ask. So when you get into a professional mode or a professional level of quality, you don't shoot straight. That is, bam, hitting the person in the face with the light. You start taking the light and bouncing it. Well, if you do that, you lose a lot of your light. So what you do is you turn this sideways, okay, and you put one of these guys on. It's a Velcro band that stretches, Velcro band that stretches, and now your light is going up and bouncing like it would normal. So it doesn't matter if it's this way or this way, by the way. If you think it does, it does not. If you think it does, it does not. If you think it matters if it's this way or this way, forgetting the bounce card, it does not, okay? I have done 1,000 tests with the meters, and it doesn't make one hill of difference. So you turn it sideways. Now you're sending light up, and it's bouncing like you intended. The way God made it, right? Okay, but now you're also bouncing back, hitting this, it's in the way, okay, and sending light forward. And that is called a better bounce card. It's on my website, PeterGregg.com. And Greg, when you go to spell it, is got 2 G's. G-R-E-G-G. G-G. G-G. Da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, all right. Now, one of the advantages is if you want to turn your camera really quick to get a portrait shot, you can actually have the camera over here, and this will flip back and forth instantly, okay? So if you turn the camera sideways, you flip your flash up, okay? So those are the normal bounce cards. But your question, which you never asked, why would you want a black one? Here's why you would want a black one. When you get past using your flash 101 and you take the next class and you get into using your flash 102, okay, you start to learn, hey, I can do a lot more with this than I thought. I could take this flash, I can aim it this way, I can turn it to my right, okay, take the bounce card off, and I can flash somewhere out there, even though you're there, and the camera's aiming at you. See, the camera's aiming at you, okay? See the flash unit? Okay, it's aiming at you. However, the flash is aiming over there. So you zoom this to 200, okay, because you got a zoom control, and this will send light way out there, bounce from there, and bounce back into your picture. It's going to bounce everywhere, and you are now doing bounce photography, okay? So you could do it over to your right. You could do it strongly from your right, okay, like it's going to bounce straight out there. Maybe I'm near a wall and I want it to bounce back in and light you up from this side and give you the Rembrandt looking of the lighting. Okay, so what's the problem with that? Can anybody see the problem? There is a problem. You're in a group of people and you're firing a flash every 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. There's a person standing here. Guess who's getting blasted with a light very close to the camera? That person. Guess who's going to hate you by the end of the evening? They're going to want to wring your neck. Those people, when you bounce over to your right, you can actually bounce behind you, turn this behind you, okay? So now I'm taking a picture, but the flash is bouncing back there, okay? And bouncing forward. There's a reason for that. But you've got all of this space to your left to bounce the light off of, all of this space to your right to bounce the light off of, and you are winner chicken dinner. You are just bouncing up and getting the best lighting of anybody you've seen, because you're not even firing it forward anymore. You're bouncing it off of things. You bounce it over there, it comes back from this side. Okay? If I bounce it over there, it'll come and light me up mostly from this side. Okay? If I bounce it straight forward and up, okay, it'll bounce higher and come down. So you've got a lot of control with these little flash units. The problem is you're You're blinding everybody around you, a-hole, okay? Wake up and smell the roses. So what do? Cup it. Okay? Just like when you play sports, you cup something to protect it down there, okay? Cup the light. Well, how do you do that? Get one of these that are all black, okay? And mount this on it. Pull the stretch band around. Now, when you bounce it to your right, you see it on your left on your screen. Anybody that's over here, this is blocking it. It's blocking the light completely. It's still a clear shot. We haven't covered the light. Which camera am I on? Over there. All right. You see, that's a clear shot. But when I raise the camera up, so it's level, and now the flash is level, they will have no clue where your light came from. They'll see light coming out of the roof all over the place, because you'll be 1 second and you'll be on this side. Then you'll turn it quickly over to this side. Then you'll turn it in front a little bit, so it bounces from a little bit from their one side. You do the same thing over to the other side. You're getting all creative. And yet, there's no one that can actually see that. There's no one getting blasted anymore. So I sell these things. It's called the Better Bounce Card Eye Shield. Okay? Somebody bought 10 of them today. They're a professional wedding photographer. They use these. Apparently they lose them because they bought 10. So, yes, Scotty, you'll be very proud of me. I sold 10 of these today. Okay? So the stuff will be coming in, and I'll make them and ship them out at the beginning of the week. But that's what the all black one is for. It's an eye protector. It's the all black eye shield. So if you go to PeterGregg.com and you look on that list of stuff that I have there, you can buy my bread. In the future, you're going to be able to buy my cookies. They're going to be really good. Okay. And then a little bit further down, you could buy these bounce cards, okay, which are bounce card flash diffusers. One of the choices there is the all black one. And that is why the all black one exists. It's the one I use 99% of the time. I control what direction the light is going to hit the person. And if you're firing straight, and even if you put on the this guy, okay, you're still firing straight. You're firing up and straight. You're 1,000% better than doing this, okay, and aiming at the person. That is so amateur. Take your iPhone out and shoot your wedding with that. I mean, anybody that shoots direct light like this doesn't have a clue how harsh that lighting is going to be, okay? So the next step is you're going to start bouncing your light so the light goes up, and at the same time it goes forward. You put these on your speed lights, the lights that go in your hot shoe. Did you see that your camera has a hot shoe? Did you ever wonder what it's for? It's for this. You put the flash there. Now they've expanded it. You could put microphones there and other accessories, okay? But the entire intention of that hot shoe was your speed light flash unit. So that is what the purpose of that is. Now, you diffuse it by starting out with these guys. These guys, I use these at the weddings all the time. When I was doing my weddings, I could use any flash diffuser I want. I could use Gary Fong's Lumiscope, whatever it was called. Any one of them. I even have one of those around still. And there's like 7 or 8 competitors. Okay, I tried them all. This sucker beats all of them. First of all, if this is mounted and some person that's a little bit drunk hits your boom, look, it's made out of foam. It's not going to break your flash hot shoe. These things mount on this little point down here at the bottom. See that little point? I'll put it on my skin so you can see it. See it? That little point? If this gets knocked with a good elbow, boom, you just cracked off your hot shoe, okay? But if you using one of these and they elbow it, it's all foam. It bends, okay? And it wraps around like that so it keeps its shape. It's a wonderful thing. God gave me the idea to do that, okay? And then I came up with the all black one because I learned, you never stop learning, guys, to start sending the flash all around the room. Now, you do want to set your zoom on your flash when you do that to the highest it's got. The older ones is 120 millimeter. It'll zoom the flash itself out to 120 millimeters. The newer ones are 200 millimeters, maybe even higher. I kind of lost track, okay? Because what you want is you want a really hot spot somewhere, because it's going to bounce the light, and it's going to bounce it 360 from way up there at the ceiling, okay? Now, you will have to use higher ISOs, ISO 1600, ISO 3200. That is not an issue with these cameras. No problem, okay? So that's the purpose of the all black one. So we just sold 10 of these guys. Betty nice, okay? And all that came on because I almost knocked this whole pile off. Let's put it back over here. I think I'll move it over to this side. All right, so who didn't we say hello to? Are questions allowed? Yes, Ghost. And Randy's telling you yes. And Ghost is saying thank you. So Roy is talking to Ghost. Peter likes questions. Me too. Just put a QQQ at the start. Why didn't it show up? There it is. Peter likes questions. Put a QQQ at the start, and he should notice them. Yeah, the QQQ is because of my eyes. I could see the QQQ easier. So the Ghost has actually, the Ghost is actually just subscribed according to Randy. Yay! Congratulations, Ghost. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That means you want to be part of the family. Now, if you want to, you could tell me your first name so I don't call you Ghost all the time. If you don't want to put your first name out there, I understand it. I was called the handsome man from Miami for years and years because I didn't want anybody to know my name. So people would just turn to me and say, "Hey, handsome." Oh, you must be talking to me. I do a lot of joking, Ghost. Don't get your panties twisted in a wad. That's just what goes on around here. So Randy's giving it a thumbs up. Roy and Ghost are talking. Consumer Nikon's use 123 stuff. That's the U. Is that you talk about the U on the dial? The Abyss is by Disney. You know, I didn't know that. Wow. So I don't know if I should buy like a Canon 5D Mark II or a newer mirrorless Canon. All right, Ghost, I'll give you the spiel really quick. You got a girlfriend, you got a wife and a girlfriend, okay? You marry the lenses, but you date the body. So look at who's got the lenses that are going to appeal to you. Then start looking for the body in that line. Because I have Canon lenses here from 2001 before the year 2000 with my film days, okay? The lenses are still here, but I don't have a Canon body in the room, okay? Not one that takes interchangeable lenses. I've got a couple of old ones that I don't use anymore. But you need to look what lens is going to make you happy, dude. That's how you buy your camera. Most people will go like, oh, it's got this feature, this has that feature, and oh, you got to buy this. And like, look at Jamie. Jamie's going like, I will never buy a Sony. I'm allergic to it. Now, look at the lenses. That's how you pick out the camera, okay? Now, here's part two. You cannot, if you're buying a newer camera now, it's hard to buy a bad camera, so you don't have to worry about screwing up and buying the wrong camera. And number three, you can go to places like here, tell me what you're going to be doing with the camera, and I'll give you some guidance, okay? I've been shooting weddings since the 1970s. I mean, my parents plucked me at 13, 14 years old, and started me as their camera boy. My mother would set up the bride and the groom, and then, okay, Peter, shoot. And I would be there because I like gadgets. So I want to play with the damn cameras. So, yes, that's what I did. So, what camera do you like? Now, first of all, your question is a little bit misguided because the 5D Mark II is a mirrorless camera. Okay? So apparently in your mind, you're defining a mirrorless camera a little different than what they really are. Okay? So years ago, this camera had a mirror in it, and the mirror would go up, come down. The mirror would go up, it would take the shot and come down. Okay? Then they activated the sensor so it was on all the time. And they put a viewfinder, EV, a little baby TV in the EV. And that's called mirrorless because they no longer have a mirror that goes up, take the picture, mirror pops down. Okay? So it's not a magical thing that it's got a mirror or it's mirrorless. The only thing is the technology today is to tap off of the sensor that's down inside the body and put the baby television set in here, and they call that an electronic viewfinder, an EVF. Okay? So that's pretty easy. So the R2, okay, the R5 Mark II has no mirror in it. It is a mirrorless camera. So there is nothing newer than the 5D Mark II in the Canon line. All right? They actually have one coming out. Oh, it might be out by now. It's the R6 Mark III. All right? So if you're not into 8K photography in your video work, and you don't need to spend a lot of money so you can get that feature that you're never going to use, maybe you'll try it one time so you can get satisfied, the R6 Mark III would be their premium camera to buy if you want to stay in the Canon line. And that is, what lenses do you like? So Canon has some really, really great lenses. So for the wide side, the 16 millimeter f2.8, oh my God, I got one of those sitting on my shelf. I won't sell the damn thing. It's such a good lens. The 50 millimeter 1.2, I have one of those sitting over there too. Not going to sell it. I'm married to the lenses, but I date the bodies. And everybody in real life, you work like that. So don't get super critical on what camera you're going to buy. Do pick it smartly. I didn't say roll the dice. Okay, I'm not being stupid. All right, but the 5D, the Mark II, its strength is its 8K video. If you never use it, you paid a lot of money to get that. Okay, so take a look. The R6 Mark III is I think now 33 megapixels, and the R5 Mark II is what, 40 megapixels, or maybe 45. So if you are crazy for the number of megapixels that you need, Ghost, now you look at spending more money. That's fine. But know why you're spending it. Okay? So if you want to, you could tell all of us what you're going to do, what you're going to do with the doom, 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 when they come for you. What's that song? All right. So, yeah, it's look at the lenses and make sure the camera you're buying has the lenses that you're going to like using. Because when you sell the body and get the newer one 3 years from now, the lens is going to stay with you. Okay? So Jamie says, are you streaming Sunday evenings? James, I'm surprised at you. You're close to me now. You should know what I'm doing. People should be asking you these questions. Do I stream on Sunday evenings? I might have 3 times in the last 10 years, but it's mostly Friday night. That's the main show. I've just added Wednesday night, but it's as I feel like it, meaning I'm not committing, but it's there. Okay? And and that's the live streaming. And then I've got like 2 or 3, 4 channels where I do all different kinds of video. Camera channel, kitchen channel. I'm going to activate my singing channel. I've got a praise and worship channel. So all of those are out there. Forest Food Diaries. Boy, I love your name. I would love to know what the hell are you broadcasting? What that's about. So welcome. Hi. Love you. Thank you for being here. This is Peter Gregg with the Christmas room. That's my set since 2008. So don't be wondering, what is he, a lunatic? No, that's my set. That's my feeling of Christmas morning, is the way my shows feel. You're here. We're going to love each other and have a good time. We're going to behave mostly, okay? And just no arguing, no backstabbing, just niceness, okay? Talk about cameras, but I'm not limited to cameras, just so you know. We had a couple of shows on dishwashers and washing machines because that's the mood I was in that night, okay? So that now you know why we only have 500 subscribers. And people just don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about, okay? So on the big channel where it's always cameras, yeah, we're over 30,000 subscribers. They know what they're going to get there every time. So this over here is more like boys' night out. Get your potato chips, get your cards, put your money on the table, and it's like, all right, it's a boys' night out. We're going to drink our coffee, smoke our cigars. You're welcome to drink beers, too. I don't care. I'm not God. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to hide that, but I'm not your judge. But don't be attacking people, because I don't put up with that, okay? So Roy is talking to Ghost, and King is talking to Ghost, and Forrest is asking what camera is being used now for live streaming. Okay, so it's not really a secret, Forrest. I like that. But if you look on your screen, upper right-hand corner, I try most of the time to put up what camera is on at the moment and what lens is being used on the camera. Okay? That's step 1 of my secrets. Okay? On the bottom right, okay, oops, I'm taking your, all right, now on the bottom right, wrong direction. That's a timer. It's counting down. I put that up there for me, basically, but I don't mind sharing why it's there. That's the timer, how long before it automatically changes to the next camera. And that's the camera that's actually hot right now. If I can figure out how to stick my finger up there, okay? And then the third tip is, if it's black, that means the camera is automatically set to rotate according to that timer. If that's red, whoops, there won't be a timer there, and it's going to stay on that camera. Okay? So here's an example of red. If I go over to this section and I come to the cameras and I go over to the ZR. All right? Now the ZR, the label in the top right-hand corner is in red. And there's no timer in the bottom right. That means I could do the rest of the show if I stayed on for 5 hours, and it will stay in this camera with that lens up there. None of that changes. And I have 4 cameras that are actually operating right now. Okay? And they're all 4K, just so you know. And I'm shooting 24p. Anything else I could think of to tell you? Okay, so 3 of the cameras are in front of me in my face. One is over here, one is over there, one's over there. Okay? And the 4th one is on the ceiling when I want to show you something. So if you go back to the beginning of this show, I spent a lot of time going over the A7 Mark V. We set it up so that on the next show, I'm going to take off this camera, and I'm going to plug this one in because this has to go back to B&H. It's a loaner camera. So anybody that wants to buy this, use my link down below. They give me a credit. Not a lot, but they send me cameras because they want me to send you to them. Okay? So we set this up together, and I did use the overhead camera. All right? So in the description below is the link to that A7 Mark V. Okay, so Ghost and Jamie are talking. Okay, Roy's talking to Forrest. Boy, you guys get along really good, don't you? So Randy says, Peter's going to Arby's to get a Jamocha shake at least. Boy, they had one right down the street from me, and it didn't do very good. They closed it down. I am so sad. So sad. Okay, let's make a little bit of an adjustment here. I want to bring down the brightness on that a little bit. There we go. Apparently that f1.2, I didn't compensate for that. I think I got the ISO too high. So yeah, Arby's roast beef sandwich. Fake roast beef that tastes delicious. Okay, so Scott answered the question that I asked an hour and a half ago. I barely make it in by 10, so don't move the show to 9 o'clock, Peter. Okay, Scott. I remember Jingle Bells in the Christmas room in the background sleeping. Yeah, I miss him so much. And Carlos. Wow, Peter, thank you for sharing with us. Carlos, if you look at the blue on that comment, see where the blue is? That's his channel. So anybody that you see where you see the blue, that is where their channel. You can see if they're making content or not. So Carlos came in. He had what? Just a few teens of subscribers, and now he's over 10, 15,000. So he has shot up. So he must be doing something right. So go check out his channel, okay? And that's why I say we're friends, because I will send you over to a friend's channel. That's the purpose of being here, to support one another. Now, Carlos happens to be a good friend of mine. I eventually become very good friends with the regular people that come here. My wife taught the dog to pee on the newspaper while I was reading it. Stella, you didn't do that. Oh, my goodness, Stella. Yeah, Jamie. Well, you got the full story. I don't say it too often, but I loved that dog. He was kind of like my companion because the house is empty all the time. So who was at my feet? I still walk being careful. Okay. Now I know he's in heaven. I'm okay. Okay. And I can talk about him. I still walk being careful like I'm going to trip over him and step on him or something. Because Malteses are not that big. All right. But he was my baby. Oh, my God. Anybody says that dogs don't become your kids, they got a loose screw. It's sad that dogs have such short lives. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Randy turned me on to this show. He's sharing it with Roy. Look on YouTube. Do for a search for The Twilight Zone, and do a search for a show called The Hunt. Okay. What a really good show. It's in black and white. Okay. It's The Twilight Zone. We're going back 70, 80, 300. 1,000 years. That's when the Twilight Zone used to be on. So if you're an animal lover, and I mean a lover, go and look up the Twilight Zone, and it's on there. It's on YouTube, and you could watch it. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful episode. It's in the Twilight motif, mysterious and ironic, but the message is very good. I'm not going to be one of those that tell you what the story is, but Randy is right. Next, they will say there is no cameras in heaven. Oh my God. Do you ever wonder if there is cameras in heaven? And how about email? They don't have email up there. They would have heaven mail. Okay. But makes you think. So if I'm playing around in another galaxy and Roy's over on the southern end of existence, how would I get a message to him? It's going to have to be a way of using the brain as a computer somehow. Remember, everything we have here comes from the mind of God. So it comes through men, of course, and the devil can only pervert something that is in existence. There's no truth in him. So when you take a 8-year-old boy and you want to cut his dick off and have surgery and turn him into a girl, that's a perversion of what God created. He created the 8-year-old boy that's supposed to grow up into a man, get a family, get a wife that he loves, make children, then get grandchildren, and then their children are going to wonder, how come he loves me? How come he loves my kids better than he loved me? Okay? All that is a cycle. That's the way God designed it. The devil perverts that. Okay? So the devil can only take something that exists and perverts it. Okay? I wonder if heaven has a ghetto. So why would you think there would be anything lower like that in heaven? I don't think there would be, honestly. Now here's something I believe that might surprise you. It's in the Bible, so I'm not making this up. You can save up, let's just call it money, rewards. Better choice of words, okay? You could save up rewards in heaven for when you get there. So I became a Christian because I received Jesus on a certain day. I remember when it happened. It was in the next room. Okay, I prayed and asked Jesus into my heart. Okay, I became what's called a born-again Christian because that is what happens when you receive Jesus. You have a new birth. So there's only two groups of people on this planet. You have those that come from Adam and Eve. They got it on, dude, and they had children. And everyone came from that. This is the biblical explanation, okay? From that seed all the way down to today, all right? Now, Adam and Eve were thrown out of the garden. They were separated from God, all right? Then you have Jesus that came, not Muhammad, not Hare Krishna or anybody else. No reincarnation, okay? You had Jesus come. He died and he rose again, all right? And he made this statement. If you accept me in your heart, I will make you born again. What are you born again into? What were you born into the first time? You were born into earth. Anybody here don't understand that? Mommy and daddy got it on. You were born, you were on earth, okay? You are in Adam's family. You come from that long line of screwing, okay? Long line of the flow of the seed, okay? Then you are born again into the kingdom of God, into Jesus. You're no longer connected with Adam. However, most of the people on the planet are still connected to Adam. So you've got the Addams family, to make a joke of that movie, okay? The Addams family, okay? And now you have your choice, the ability to get into Jesus's family. That's why Jesus called it the new birth. Unless you are born again, he said, you're not getting into heaven. So between Adam and Jesus, which is the family that's heaven bound? Is that a hard question? It's the Jesus family. Okay? Now, when you're born, your flesh, okay? You're born, your body, okay? You could do really good. You can amass a lot of rewards, or you could be a nobody that winds up being a street person, okay, for a number of different reasons. They're not going to judge the street person. We're just going to look at their rewards. That's all I'm pointing out, okay? There's some street people that need help, and we are supposed to be helping them. Different story. You create what you can. Now, if in the United States you have a better choice of creating something wonderful than if, let's say, you were in Haiti, okay? It's a lower level of opportunity in Haiti. No judgment here. Just telling you there are third world countries. They exist. That's why it's the United States that send missionaries and help via not missionaries to the third world countries. This country got a missionary mindset because we are based on the Judeo-Christian values. Okay? Now, same thing happens in heaven. You could receive Jesus when you're 15, when you're 8, when you're 50, okay? And then do nothing, like the guy that winds up being a street bound. He's homeless, okay? So when you get to heaven, the rewards for what God gives rewards for, I'm not going to give that list now. There's a Bible. You can read it, okay? You also got ChatGPT. Use it, all right? So there's a reward system, okay? Actually, there's a scripture that says you're not going to even give somebody a glass of cold water in Jesus' name without a reward. So there's a reward system. Now, Jamie, if a person receives Jesus and does absolutely nothing to gain no rewards, they're going to arrive in heaven poor compared to Mother Teresa. You think Mother Teresa has accumulated some rewards along the way? I mean, that's an obvious one, all right? So the things that she does, a lot of those things are reward items. She doesn't get it here, but when she gets it there, she's going to be a rich woman, okay? And if I did nothing to accumulate rewards, I'm not going to be so rich. Now, we have centers here to buy things. We got malls. Well, they got centers in heaven too. They've got buildings. They've got roads. They got rivers. They got trees. Okay? They got all kinds of things. They got mansions. So what's going on in all these buildings? Okay? It's just let your creativity run a bit, but stay within the lines when you're driving the car. Okay? So they don't have ghettos. There's no poor sections. But you will have people that have different levels of rewards. Those rewards are earned here while we're alive. So you can become a Christian at 15 and not bother with God again. Forget about him. Don't pray. Okay? Never give a bottle of cold water to the bum on the street or the person that's a street person that is homeless and he's begging for money and go get a job. Get out of the line. Okay? You've built up no rewards. So, people go like, well, if the goal for being here is to see who's going to choose Jesus and go to heaven and not, when I choose Jesus, why don't I just go? Bye. It's because you're building up your rewards and your position in government. Jesus is coming. He's going to touch down at the Mount of Olives over there, okay? And he's going to rule the world from Jerusalem, a physical place. All right? Well, he's not going to be everywhere at the same time, although he could be, but he's not. He's going to have people in position of authority. So all the people that are in here, all right, if you're a Christian, you're going to wind up, you could be the mayor of your city, you could be a council member, you could be the mayor of the county, you could be the governor of your state, you could be the president of Honduras, you could be the president of France, you could be in the parliament. All those positions are not a lotto. They're not, pick a card, any card, okay? Those positions are determined here by what we do and whatever God's yardstick is, okay? So the meaner guy, okay, that holds everybody's feet to the fire, even if he's a Christian, I don't want to come under him. He's going to be a mean son of a bitch, all right? And Jesus will step in and correct the situation, I'm pretty sure, because there is no wrath in heaven. There is no wrath on us, W-R-A-T-H, once we're in Christ. That's why when you see these arguments, is Jesus coming for the rapture for us at the beginning of the 7-year tribulation or at the end? The answer is the beginning. We are not given to wrath. We're not given to go through wrath. Oh, well, God will separate us and keep us. Therefore, he's not coming till the end. No, that's a lie. He's coming at the beginning. As a matter of fact, Jesus even said from his own mouth, when these terrible things begin, which is the beginning of those 7 years, look up. Your redemption is there. Your redemption draweth nigh. Okay? So it's at the beginning. Take it or leave it. That's the way I see it. All right? And when you see these guys, people get on YouTube and they talk about anything they want. They can make up lies from the pit of hell. They can make up lies from their imagination. Okay? Donald Trump is really a girl. The world is flat. You go to the end, you fall right off. Okay? Those are, people can just come up with that and broadcast it. All right? So you have to be founded. So that was a good question, James. You meant it to be a little flippant. I know your personality, but you're a loving guy, so it wasn't mean. Okay? But I think you got more of an answer than you wanted. And everything I said to you, Roy, I've got Roy in my brain, huh? Because I want more of the Randy Roy coffee. Nikon DSLRs don't auto swap to crop mode. I think I would have to argue with you on that, but you know how I can settle it? I can get the ZR off, not now, and pop on a crop. I got the 16 to 50. I'm sure it's going to drop into crop mode, okay? If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Roy. I got it wrong. But I ain't wrong. Get out of the line. I am making fun of, when I say that, I'm making fun of my one of my favorite comedians, John Panay. That was one of his shticks. Get out of the line. Okay. I have no idea what King is talking about. Mike Man. Hello, chat. Hi, Peter. I ordered the same mic. I'm going to run it through a preamp too. All right, so the mic tricked me, and I don't have it here to show it to you. Okay? It took Howl to solve the problem. He's not here tonight. He's probably working tonight. It's a Friday night. He's a professional, when you go to the churches, the bigger ones, and they have these audiovisual booths, and they control the cameras, the microphones. That's what he does, okay? So he equalizes all the microphones for the singers and the preachers and whoever, sticks a mic in front of you to talk. That's been equalized by Hal. All right? So this mic and a lot of these computer mics, all right, they need a 3-volt power supply, not a 45-volt. 48. I'm sorry, it's not 45. It's 48. And a 48-volt power supply will not work. So you need to bridge that gap. It either needs to be plugged directly into a camera, which most cameras, ironically, give you a 3-volt power supply. Okay? Or you need to buy your own, and that is called the V for Victory XLR Plus. It's got to be the Plus. VXLR Plus by Rode, the Rode microphone company, or a knockoff. Okay, which you'll find many knockoffs on Amazon. So I have this mic plugged in to my belly button. I can't get it off now. I ran the wire down my pants leg because when it moves on the one side, it goes. So I fixed it. I ran some extra wire down my pants leg, so now it can't move. Because I move around, you notice. I sit back, I sit up, and I keep getting the crackling. So I think we got it fixed. And Mr. Camera Junkie is making me something, hopefully, that will fix that also. So if you got a paper and a pen, write that down Mike Man, you're going to need remember XLR cables? You know what an XLR cable is, right? So if I unplug this, this is an XLR cable, okay? So take the XLR, put a V in front of it, VXLR by Rode. However, the regular standard one doesn't give you 3-volt power, okay? You need to get the VXLR Pro. Suddenly, the mic works great, okay? And Hal has equalized it for me, so I don't touch the volume buttons is the only thing I touch, and you could tell I even have trouble with that. If you go back to the beginning of the show, I got huge amount of feedback. My fault, okay? So I have a hard enough time with just the volume button. So thanks, Mikeman. If you're going to buy it on Amazon or B&H, if you click on one of my items, doesn't matter what it is. It could be a camera, doesn't matter. For either Amazon if you're going there, or for B&H if you're going to buy it there, it'll be a feather in my cap. They'll know I sent somebody to them. Okay? I mean this is $30. I don't think I'll get 30 cents. So don't think I'm taking money from you. It doesn't come from you anyway. They pay the commissions. So if you'll do that for me, that will be helpful. I appreciate it. So Roy is talking to James, and Roy is telling me where to stick my finger. And now he was nice. Uncle Peter, your Brooks Brothers shirts always look sharp. Thank you. I didn't know that you noticed. So this is Randy telling me, get out of the line or get offline. Okay, I'll come back to that when I'm ready to log off, Randy. You go to sleep, Randy. It's okay. I'm enjoying myself. It's Friday night. I'd rather be with you guys. Okay, what am I going to do? Going to go watch, a Christmas movie. I got them recording because I love the Christmas movies. And I can watch it all night long. And I just drank this thing of coffee. I'll be up all night. So I don't mind spending extra time. When I get too tired, we're just going to stop. Okay? Oh, so we've been 2.5 hours now. 12:30. The coffee works, guys. The coffee works. I am still wide awake. Okay. Yeah, when we get to the end of the comments, and I'm passing all the comments where you're talking up, talking between each other. If it's something I do need to put up, I'll put it up. But be nice to each other. This is Christmas morning. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Don't wake Stella up. Stella, Stella, I love you. I'm singing to you. Stella, I can't push my button, Stella. Stella by starlight, that's the only one I remember. I don't know any other song that's got Stella, Stella, Stella. I like singing to the girls, to the wives. It's fun, and they get a real big kick out of it. Hal tells me when we talk on the phone, Debbie loves it when you sing to her. Oh my God! So that's good. It's about, being nice and lovable towards each other. Nothing bad, no bad vibes, nothing. So Roy is saying don't wake Stella up, and then Randy said too late. Randy has a great sense of humor. Oh, I finally got the sound correct. All right, sound was good after I screwed it up. So Roy is talking to Jamie. I barely used speed lights in the last few years. I haven't either. These cameras really do great. Since strobes gained batteries? I don't know what that means. So see, when I hear the word strobes, Roy, my mind goes to the old-fashioned strobes where I had to have this battery hanging on my shoulder. That, to me, is a strobe. A strobe. Okay? So Jamie's talking to Roy, and they're kibitzing back and forth. And Jamie said, didn't ProPhoto release more lights? Yeah, ProPhoto is probably the top, right, Jamie? They would be the king of the jungle. I mean, it's arguable. Anything when you say, like, oh, that's the best there is, that's open for an argument. But ProPhoto is going to be one of the most expensive ones you can buy. And they are solid as a rock. So that is very good. You know, Jamie, my eyes are, I have a hard time seeing the small letters. So what animal are you putting at the end of your comments? I can't tell what that is, buddy. Is that telling me where you are? Tell me where you're from. I'd like to know. Jamie, where are you from? Jamie, where you from? I'm singing to you, Jamie. Is my song getting to you? I'm singing to you, big guy. I want to know where you are. Can you tell I like to sing? And probably at the most inopportune times. And Roy is talking to Jamie and Randy. And... oh, wow, you guys got into a really big conversation. A red filter on that speed light won't make mirrorless cameras very happy. Well, why are you saying that? Because they don't fire on the red light. That doesn't fire on a mirrorless camera. They set it up, so no go, Joe. Okay. So, boy, with Roy and Jamie talking, I would say you guys are having a good time. So Roy says, I would have a girlfriend, but my wife just won't let me have one. You better hide your credit card bills on Valentine's Day, because you can't say you can't let her find a bill. Who is this? Who is this Shirley? You sent flowers to Shirley? Who do you know whose name is Shirley? I'm becoming animated. Uncle Peter, Roy is playing with fire. Oh, do I have to pay attention to what you guys are talking about now? Come on, everybody behave, be nice. We're loving. It's Christmas morning. You have a present for James, Roy? And hey, Jamie, did you buy a present for Jamie King Cut? Yeah, he needs a present too. So I'm just letting you guys have a good time. So Peter, it's midnight on Friday. Bellinger Trading. Bellinger. That's how I would say it. So I like that. You know why? For years and years, traded commodities, got into stocks and options, and then went back to commodities, futures. I tried the Forex. Okay, it's a good game. Forex is a good game, but it didn't go well with me. Let's put it that way. When peace like a river attendeth my soul, when sorrow like sea billows flow. That's a wonderful song called It Is Well With My Soul. I've been doing a lot of singing with Sammy. He's been helping me along with that. I didn't see him come in tonight. Oh, I know. Sammy went out. He told me, yes. Uncle Peter, you can find a 1DX3 for a good price. Are you still picking up an FX2 over a 1DX Mark III? Now who's playing with fire? Hello. What are you talking about? The 1DX3 doesn't even come close to an FX2. Not in the same ballpark. It's good for pictures. It does very good for pictures. You can use it for pictures. You could shoot a wedding with the 1DX Mark III. Maybe. Did they ever fix the focus system? Now, I don't go backwards like that. I like the new technology. I like what it's doing for me. And yet there's a big following for retro stuff, okay? All the way back to and including shooting with film, which is suicidal. It's crazy. I hated the days when I had to put in, 20, 30 rolls of film in a box and mail it to Miller Photo or whatever the one that I was using, and be sitting at the end of my chair and hope they didn't lose that box by the mail, because the whole wedding is in that box. Never mind that it was anything else. Now the wedding is on the cards. Okay, you take this card out, and the wedding is on here, and you keep changing those. And if your camera actually has a slot where you could put two of these, 2 card slots, I would always take the second card slot and make it a Hail Mary card slot. That's my own personal choice. You do what you want. I do what I want. I wear briefs. You wear boxers. I never get involved in your underwear. I don't get involved in your card slots either. Okay? So the second one, I would make it a medium-size JPEG. So the medium-size JPEG is big enough to make an 8x10 print if you don't crop it. If it winds up as something smaller in an album, easy peasy, no problem. Okay? But that was a Hail Mary. I was shooting in RAW, so my pictures were getting used in albums and wall prints and all that from the RAW files. Okay? And that's where that camera excels that you're talking about, Jamie. Okay? But I wouldn't buy that unless I could buy it for $200. But if I'm going to spend any kind of serious money, heck, I'd rather have an E10 Mark II, honestly, than a 1DX Mark III. No, it's not going to fit with me on the creative. Do you have a cooking, baking channel? Yeah, look in the description. I think I got the channels listed there, James. So Roy says the 1DX3 and the FX2 are for completely different uses. Yep. Okay, so one camera is a real camera and the other one is... No, I don't talk like that. They're both great cameras, especially in their time, James. Give them a chance. What is this team mentality that you have or other people have? We're not on teams. We don't call a camera a Frankenstein camera. Okay? What if there's people actually shooting with a 1DX Mark III? That's not nice. All right? Or what if there's another person shooting with the FX2, like me? That's not nice. We're not at war with each other over the cameras. You can rattle off your specs and your features, not a problem. Okay? But we're not going to play the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets with cameras. The cameras are for our use. It's for your use, Jamie. Whatever you want to use, big boy, you get to use that. No one, I will defend you to use what you want. But don't get into drawing your swords. I'm not going to put up with that, I have to tell you. All right? So I'm not being mean, but we are going to be nice. Okay? So, and the reason we're being nice is because we're considering other people. Some guy is sitting here lurking, all right, and he's got the camera that somebody else is attacking. He's not going to feel good about it. So let's not do that, all right? Sounds fair? Okay. Makes sense to you? All right, good. Wife's Cavalier dog went everywhere with her in her convertible. They like to ride around in cars, right? So Jamie is talking to Roy. Roy's talking to Jamie. And Bellinger Trading. Let the words of my mouth, of the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Sounds like a scripture out of the Bible, right? Right, Big Bell? You can tell me your first name if you want. Sammy said, can you sing a song? I can, but I'm not. It's what? Almost 1 o'clock? Not going to do it. Maybe. I might do it right before I sign off to see how good I've gotten with this stuff, because I still screw it up. Nikon mirrorless swap automatically to crop. I thought that you said the opposite before. Maybe I misunderstood. Sorry about that, Roy. Sammy says yes. I say yes. You say no. Beatles, right? Jamie says, is that decaffeinated coffee? Well, when I made it, I put like a half a teaspoon or less of caffeinated coffee to keep me awake. Can you tell how much I still have so much energy? What is it? Almost 1 o'clock, 12:47. That tells me I'm at the end of my show when I'm slurping at the bottom of my jar. All right, and then a full tablespoon and a half of decaffeinated for the coffee flavor. So what that does, James, I really get a solid coffee taste, and it tastes great, honestly. But I need a little bit of caffeine because the decaffeinated, I'll be here. I will be half asleep. Okay, so that is the okay, Roy, I get your message. Too late. Your last song woke the beast. Stella, 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 I love the way you look. Stella, by starlight, you look so beautiful. In the moonlight, it glows off your face. Stella, 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 you are so lovely. Stella is Roy's wife. Gonna keep her awake, Roy. Gonna keep her awake. Bup, bup, bup. The new Strovs have their battery attached. No, I don't get it still. I know that the Godox has like a lithium battery built into it, but you could pop it out and change that. Am I getting close? Pro Photo is great, but a big price. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sammy. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing, sing, sing. Big Finish. A song. Okay, did that make you happy, Sammy? My big boy over there? Randy's going, Sammy, I can't believe you're still awake. Yeah, 10 o'clock, he's out. But tonight is Friday, and he can sleep late, or he took a good nap. So, Randy, I've been busy working. I've been busy away working on a project, so I have been working on it. Oh, did I turn my church off? Because if I do, I'm going to get corrected. There's Sam. Sammy likes to sing along with me. La 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 la. Sammy. La 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 la. Bum 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 bum. Sammy loves to sing along with me. We get on the phone, and he gets me to start singing. Okay, and then he starts singing in the background. So, Randy, when you get a thumbs up from Randy, you're doing good. Well, I fell asleep like 3 hours and just woke up. Uh-oh, now we're all in trouble. Randy's talking to Sammy. Randy is talking to Sammy. Oh, we got another bridge that isn't up. I'm almost at the end, Randy. I'm almost at the end. I haven't fell asleep in the past 830 years. I'm going to have to call you Methuselah, right out of the Bible. Okay. Jamie, I enjoy using older tech because it forces me to make more decisions in the creative process. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear from you, James. That is good content, buddy. So when you make your videos, listen to me. You got a great personality, James. Okay? Talk like that. Because when you get into these sharp edges of conversation, it turns people off. And you got way too much talent to turn people off. I love it, love it, love it when you're here. So do me the favor of talking like that. Because then you are a scholar and a gentleman. Now, and you're good looking. If I sell you by the pound to the girls, I'll make a fortune. All right, guys. We have now finally reached the end. And now I can invoke Randy's comment. God willing and the bridge isn't up, then Peter will be back for the next show. Remember, my goal is the sky, not the grave. I'm not looking to die. I'm looking for the return of Jesus. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and keep smiling. Cheers. So we had a pretty good show, okay? So nobody comment. We're at the end of the show. But I do want to sing a little bit so I can hear what I sound like. So what I'm going to do is for a quick second, I'm going to turn off the mic that's on my face, and I'm going to turn off this mic, turn on this mic. So the last time I did that, I got some feedback. No, something wasn't working right. What was not working correctly? I wasn't getting the music in the channel properly. So, but Randy did say it sounded good. But wait a minute, I have to get up for this. All right, so I'm going to turn off this mic so you won't hear me. No, I'm not playing with the wrong things down here. I have the mic plugged in. Okay, so I turned on the handheld mic. Okay, so you should be able to hear me again. Now I'm going to turn this up over here because I'm going to sing out here. Now I don't have the reverb on yet. Okay, you guys that are still here, you can go home. I'm just doing this to see if I can get the song part to work properly. So I'm not looking at the comments. So Roy, you're writing something, but I can't read it right now. All right, so now I need to put this up to 75. Now, I don't know why the music part wasn't coming out properly. That should have been where I could hear it like I'm in the concert, and it didn't do that. Okay, so I'm not reading the comments. So anybody that's commenting now, it's covered because I got my song list in front of it. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the levels on the mic. Let's raise up this mic a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I raised that mic up a little bit. Yeah, it's touching the yellow. All right, now I need to fix what the problem is with the song. Okay, so I do have a lyric sheet that I printed out for Country Roads. So that'll make it more comfortable for me. Now let's see why we weren't getting the sound to come through. See, the sound is almost not there. There's a problem going on. You can hear it fine. I could see the meters where you are. What I need to do is find out why we're not coming through here. All right? Because I do want to... Okay, so where is that going? This is going here. Okay, so I think I just got a hint. All right. I was on the phone with somebody and I played with the volume. It's right here. Ha ha ha. Okay. Testing 1, 2. I solved the problems. So the sound coming from the studio computer was turned down. Okay. So now let me move this out of the way. Somebody tell me that my voice is okay and the background is okay. Because now it is in here. Before I lost the background is what happened. All right, so that's what we got going. We'll turn this up. All right, so now I'm going to try to sing. All right, so okay, band. Take a break, band. Take a break, band. Thank you. Okay. All right, so this is going to be my test for singing. And you don't have to hang around for this. This is just, I could actually do it on a separate broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to turn this mic to the right volume. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home. It ended the song? No way, Jose. I don't know why. It stopped playing the song. Oh, well. Okay, so let's try another song. Okay, I figured that one out too. It's the same problem you were having, Randy. It switched cameras and that camera was muted. All right, so let me turn that stuff back on. Okay, band, you can come back in. Oh, there's the band! The band is back! Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eye. Country roads, everybody, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get the feeling I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, yeehaw, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, country roads, take me home. Yeah. So I used to do that song on when I went out, like what Scotty does, and he goes to the nursing homes, senior citizen centers, and stuff like that. And I would have like these big speakers that I'd have to carry with me and roll all that stuff in. I finally built a cart where I can try to get, like when you go to a hotel, they have these rolling carts. I would do something like that and carry all the stuff in, because I needed, at that time, we didn't have the digital stuff. So we actually had to carry this stuff in with a cassette player, my speakers. I had this exact Yamaha mixer, and all of this stuff had to get taken in, connected up, plug in the wires. I'd have to fix whatever little doohickey things that was going wrong, like goes here, and then the payoff for the whole night. The people that nobody pays attention to. They're some of them in wheelchairs, they're nursing homes, they're lonely, they're maybe, who knows if the people are being mean to them in the nursing homes and the senior citizen centers. And I would sing like True Love. I give to you and you give to me. True love, true love, and on it will always be. Love forever true. For you and I have a guardian angel on high, with nothing to do but to give to you and to give to me. Love forever true. And oh my God, they would sway. It's the song from their generation. Okay? So now if I sing Creep, it's the song from the younger generation, all right? But those songs is what they wanted to hear. And here's another one that they wanted to hear all the time, okay? Now here's a warning. I haven't sung this in ages. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, I am sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love never died, and give me one more chance to keep you satisfied, keep you satisfied. If I made you feel second best, I'm so sorry I was really blind. You were always on my mind. 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 All right, we got a solid song in there. Now I'll be able to play that back and find out if I suck or it wasn't half bad. Okay, so I think I could hello, da 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 da. I think I could push a little more volume on the vocal mic, and there we have it. So it's going to be songs like that that's going to wind up. I can lower back my my feedback here. It's going to be songs like that that's going to wind up on Peter Gregg Sings. I'm not sure, but that should be on the list down below. If it's not, I'll add it if I remember to do that. Now, I was not singing with this mic, so this mic is not even connected. That's where the trouble was last time. So if I turn on both mics at the same time, they kind of do like noise canceling, and I couldn't figure out why it was phasing in and out. Well, that's why. You want to know? That's why. And on that note, God bless you. God love you. We are done with what do we got going here? We have a 3-hour show tonight, folks. It's supposed to be 1 hour, in case you didn't know that. All right, so thank you for humoring me on the singing part. I wanted to sing live because you get a little bit of nerves when you're singing live, and there's just a, I don't know, kind of like there's an excitement to it than when I just sit here and I sing and I know there's nobody out there. So that's why I wanted to do it live. And we have like 10 people in the room. So that allowed me to, it took me a while. Did you notice? It took me a while. And then I finally calmed down and sat back. So it's the same thing that happened when the phone rings. And I used to get so flustered, my face would turn red because the phone would ring while I was live. And I'm going like, oh, my God, I'm not in control of my show. And now the phone can ring. If it's somebody that I don't want to answer or I can't answer, then I'll just say, oh, President Biden. That was back then. Now it's President Trump is trying to get through to me. I'll get back with him in a little bit, okay? And I got rid of that edginess and the nerves. So that needs to happen now with the music. So I just sang live to a backing track. I mean, I kick in, you guys that are regulars here, I kick in and sing all the time. I don't have a problem with that. There's no nerves. I make up the words as I go along, and it just on and on, da-da-da-da. It just goes on and on, like right now. That's what popped into my head. Sammy has the songs in his head that I don't even have it on my list, okay? I have the song he wants is, which one, Sammy? Something with the music. La, 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 la. I'm going to have to find it. Is it on the list that I sent you? Because if it's on the list that I sent you, I just didn't port it into Ecamm. And that'll solve that. But I also don't have a lyric sheet for that, so I'm going to have to print out a lyric sheet. So that I will have to hang on to. It doesn't look super professional to talk with a lyric sheet. But I'm sorry, it doesn't look super professional to sing to a lyric sheet. But it's going to have to be until I start to remember these. Because when I was singing in the senior citizen centers and in the churches, there was no lyric sheet. There was the words were all right in here. But these songs are from when I would sing on stage and in senior citizen centers and nursing centers, the 70s and the 80s. So we're talking 30 and 25 plus 1. Okay, that's 55, 56 years ago. I don't remember all the words. Yeah, it's Sing a Song by the Carpenters. I was singing it for Sammy while he was on the phone, and he happens to like that song. So he's asked me 3 times tonight to sing it. Okay, so it goes something like la 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 la. No, it's too low, and I need to turn the reverb on. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing, sing, sing a song. So apparently that's gotten into Sammy's head. I have a track for it, so I will port it in. And if you are not subscribed, I'm not hunting for subscribers. That's not the reason, okay? But if you like to hear this kind of singing, I realize I'm not really good at it, but I have to tell you the truth. I like it. I totally, absolutely love it, okay? So see, Sammy is messaging me during a live show, okay? So now I got to see if I'm doing something wrong. Or Sammy, no, I'm not doing anything like that, Sammy, okay? Sammy is 21 years old. He's what? 4 times faster than me. So he's sending me the words to the song he wants me to sing. So you have to give me the... Oh, I don't have the track for it. So which one is that one for, Sammy? Sammy sent me some lyrics, and I don't know which song. So he has also taught me... those are the new lyrics to which song for another project. Okay. All right. Well, for this one, Sammy, text me if there's something going wrong with my singing, because you know what? I count on you to tell me, because Sammy does this as the head audiovisual guy for a company in New Jersey. That's his job. Okay, so that's why I pay attention to Randy, Sammy, Hal, Jim. Now my mind went blank. Okay, who's singing? Who does the singing in the nursing homes? Come on, people now. Let's get together. Try to get out down and try to love one another right now. Okay. All right, so I've got that song in my head that Sammy wants me to sing, and that has taken out Scotty. Scotty, there he is. Okay. So Scotty is another one that will call me and set things straight. So, guys, I think we have a wrap-up. It's actually one of the longer shows I've done. I'll tell you the honest truth. We had a really good show Wednesday night. And so tonight I was going to do a short show and move on. Well, here's my definition of short show. 3.5 hours. I'm sure Randy is off sleeping, because once he gets into the lazy boy and he puts his feet up, it can get really comfortable. That's what happens with me. And I'm trying to stay awake to watch a show like Luis or Sly or somebody, whoever it is that I'm watching. So it's time to say goodnight. Thank you for humoring me and letting me sing. I do appreciate it. Thank you for all the encouragement that you guys also did. So I appreciate it. Mook, I didn't specifically say hi to you tonight, and I always want to say hi to you. You're a really good buddy. I appreciate you. I love you, and I thank you for being here with me. I know you get home from work or you're doing something and you can't come on, and then you watch it later. But when I see your name there, my heart smiles. So I wanted to put your comment up there. All right, guys, that's the end of the road for tonight. And God willing, and the bridge isn't up, I will see you next Wednesday. And we are already tonight, we set up this A7 IV together. We went through the settings, and I'll put it up and go live with it before I ship it out to go back to B&H, because they already sent me the RMA. I'm now late. So I'm going to my back hurt today. I couldn't get in the car. So anyway, I will talk to you later. I love all you guys. The Olympus did pretty good tonight, right? Didn't do bad. So the S5 Mark II is in its new home with its 3 lenses and everything that came with it. It is in Naples. The person that bought it is actually in Naples, Florida, not Naples, Italy. All right. Catch you later. Good night.